And that sound is kicked out of the hood being very upset that the X-Men are in fact allowed to be good again. This is Wait, Did I Roll a Wild? And we are coming at you for the second day in a row with a very special edition, very late at night too, here on towards the end of day 2 of Ministravaganza that, I don't know about you, somehow had more MCP goodness than I feel like it did yesterday, in addition to the Star Wars Shatterpoint Road Map, which was just delightful. A massive amount of information today, so much to go over. We're going to try to keep it under 14 hours, but listen, we're just going to kind of be touch and go with it for a little bit. I am joined tonight by two of my favorite people, one who you haven't seen on this particular show in literally years, since ACO 2022, our own Tactical Taylor from the Hobby Hangout right here on the Twitch on Mondays. It's, like I said, Tactical Taylor. Tactical Taylor, how are you?
That's me. I don't know. I don't even know how I am. Like, everything in my gaming life has completely been amazing. I don't know.
As we were talking about earlier, they announced a new game today, and it's called Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Right? I can't believe they launched it with so many characters. It's wild.
Yeah, effective, like,
all mutants.
Well, and during that stream too, when they were like, "Well, when are these going to be effective?" I don't know. 30 minutes, like, was real good. And then also we are joined by Dan as well. Dan, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for waiting for me. It's my fault that we're doing this so late, but in a way it works out because we have so much information from a stream this evening.
That's very true. Yeah, there was a lot happening. I am turning up actively Dan and Taylor, Chuck, so let me know if those levels are good. But I mean, so first off, as always, we are sponsored by Frontline Gaming. They host a series of events all year long for both MCP, and they're starting to add Shatterpoint as well. If you're looking to pick up some tickets for any of the Frontline Gaming events, you can do so via our link, which is in chat and in the show notes. If you're listening to the podcast version of this, that helps support us directly. It doesn't cost you a gosh darn thing. And you can pick up all sorts of things at a pretty decent retail discount. In addition to that, in October, I believe it's October 21st through 23rd, I want to say, is going to be the SoCal Open. If you use our link to get your tickets to that, once again, helps support us greatly. But, I mean, is there anything really to do outside of just jump into it? Because there's a lot here.
We've got to jump right into it.
And we still have a third...
3 hours.
Next Saturday. I got to work on Monday, so...
Well, and the thing is, too, is we still have a third day of Ministravaganza. We still haven't gotten more information on Mojo Ball. There's the one-shots that they still have to go over as well. The Legion roadmap is tomorrow. Like, there's still a ton of Ministravaganza left, and today was a massive, massive day for it already. But
that's my finger for Gungans there.
I mean, listen, we got Ewoks today. Well, we knew Ewoks were coming for Shatterpoint, but we got there. Yeah, there's a lot of Ewokness currently happening, actively Ewokening. Let me see how exactly I get these up on the board here. Show me potato salad and
my mic here too.
Boom! Here we go. Shatterpoint. Whoo!
Hey.
So at the top of the stream today for the Shatterpoint Road Map, not only was everyone looking feisty and fresh, it was also super great to see Michael Plummer on stream today. The sheer distractibility of the four of them, Simone, Will, and Will, Schick, Dallas, Mike, and Simone was just great. What a great chemistry they had, and the chat was absolutely off the charts. Obviously, hashtag Ratterpoint was kind of a highlight of that. But the first thing they got into was something that had been announced at Adepticon, which was Plo Koon. Now, this is the first time we got to see his card, his abilities, and very specifically his innate. They went over a little bit how difficult this particular innate ability was to balance as a whole, and probably the one that had the most kind of pass-throughs and rewrites outside of, I believe they said, Padme. But I'm pretty excited about this. Very personally, Plo Koon is a character that I have always really adored. Played him extensively in Jedi Power Battles, and from there I was like, yeah, I like Plo Koon. I don't know anything about him, but he's my dude. He has an orange lightsaber, and I think I love him. And he also looks like a bug, and he needs to keep his eyes moist, so he wears those things. And otherwise, his eyes might dry up, man.
He's a really cool looking, and that voice he has.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. It's that weird, like, reverberated, deep voice. It's. I love this character a lot as just a Star Wars character. His card's pretty good. Like, he's no Obi-Wan, but he's pretty good.
He's
you know?
he's not overwhelming in any way, shape, or form, but he's very good at a lot of things. He's a very good, well-rounded character that has some clear strengths that normally, for the most part, is supporting others, and that's something they talked about very heavily during the stream as well. Is that's kind of Plo Koon's whole deal. Is he makes sure that people are alive, they get to the fight, they can do their thing, and hopefully that they get out as well. He's really kind of the premium mentor, right? He's the one that found Ahsoka, brought her to the Jedi Temple to begin with. Like, he is the teacher of all teachers. No offense to any of the other Jedi Masters, but honestly, he's the one for me.
Who is Yoda at this point? You know?
Yeah, who?
Man.
Has he ever trained anyone when he wasn't retired? But
And hasn't turned to the dark side? Like, come on.
Correct.
It's nice to see another like Republic character with Force push as well. I think Barriss is the only other one we have there. So he's, like you said, he does a lot of different things, including some table control, which Galactic Republic doesn't have a lot of.
Yeah, very much so. And he has kind of this double down effect, right? Where all of his abilities work, regardless of who you're using them on for the most part. But then you can kind of double down, and if you're using them on a trooper or a Padawan, they kind of get an additional effect. And that starts with his tactical ability, where at the start of his activation, he can choose any allied Galactic Republic unit, regardless of range. Each character in the chosen unit may dash. So this isn't one character in the unit, it is the full unit. So troopers, both of them are going to move, they get to go. Then, if the chosen unit was a trooper or a Padawan, Plo Koon can then make that dash as well.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the first time we see Padawan as like something used in an ability?
I believe so, because currently in the game, outside of the early release of Padawan Ahsoka, I don't believe there are other Padawans in the game currently.
Besides Barriss.
Yeah,
yeah, Barriss. Yep, no, you are spot on.
But I feel like Luminara has something.
Let me check her real quick.
I don't believe so.
No, I don't see Padawan on there. Yeah,
Maybe
I think it's the first time.
tag, the Padawan tag.
Which makes complete sense for Plo Koon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as the defender, kind of like the raiser of children. You know, as in he raises children.
Oh, gotcha. I was like, I thought Anakin was kind of the raiser of children, personally, but
that seems excessive.
Master Skywalker.
What should we do? But, and like Dan said, he does have that Force push too. Not many instances of that on the Jedi side so far. So very cool to see that. He has kind of that standard Jedi deflect that they usually tend to have. And while some of the Sith usually tend to have more of a riposte or a melee deflect. And then his innate, and this is kind of where the character really comes together, especially in the narrative and the story that they're trying to tell, where we can do this the simple way or the difficult way. While this unit is not wounded, when another allied Galactic Republic character within range 3 is targeted by an attack, this unit may gain exposed. If it does, the defending character may use this unit's defense expertise chart during the attack. Then, after the attack is resolved, if the defending character was a trooper or Padawan, one character in this unit, Plo Koon, may dash towards the attacker. So, if you've watched any of our battle reports or our live plays of Star Wars Shatterpoint, you'll know very specifically that I hate attacking Jedi. They're going to roll a bunch of expertise. I'm going to roll 1 or 2 crits at most, and they're going to get rid of all of them and then block everything else. The fact that you can now put Jedi expertise on a trooper,
Troopers, just clones.
it's stellar. absolutely stellar. Now, granted, he does pay a cost for that. He does get exposed. So if he does continue to trigger this ability on other characters' activations or while other characters are being attacked, he is going to actually start taking damage from the reapplication of that exposed. But an incredibly powerful skill, which, like they said, he's all about getting people to the front line so they can do their job, keeps troopers alive, keeps Padawans alive, so they can't just get like yoinked off of an objective. It's really good.
What's
I want to
gross
point out.
about this?
Go ahead.
He could get rid of that exposed like immediately if he's on Form 5 Gem So. There's recover in that expertise chart. So if he's within 2 of the people he's giving that defense buff to, they could just get rid of the expose off him right away, and it might not even hurt him.
Yeah, especially if they're close, right?
Awesome.
And they have to be within range 3 of it. You can recover within range 2. So now, personally for me, I think you want to be on Form 3 if you're giving that to people so you can get rid of those nasty crits. But
yeah, that's really good.
But you're not wrong. I mean, for the same, effect, really, if you're on his more offensive stance, being able to recover that exposed rate off is also kind of just gnarly. Like, is actually really frustrating to me already. As much as I love Plo Koon, I don't want to play against him.
I did want to point out something real quick, and this is actually spoilers for something, a release that is coming up soon. This does not work with stormtroopers. They do not have the trooper tag.
Correct.
I just looked it up. They have the stormtrooper tag. They are different. I just wanted to make sure in case you were mixing in your strike team.
It's very similar to Grievous being a droid but not a battle droid. Like, there are
Correct.
differences in those tags, and you have to pay very close attention to them. And as we see in a lot of the Facebook groups and in the Discord, that's where sometimes newer players have some confusion, is that they get in their mind, it's like, oh, well, I see the word droid there, so it's fine, and then they play that way for a while, and they go to their local game store, or they go to an event or something, and they're like, oh, well, that's not how it works. And it's like, what? But what do you mean? I've been playing it this way for months. And it's like, well, it is there, but yeah, I can certainly see how, a new player could get those things kind of fumbled around.
That's why I flip tables.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. We've had to actually bolt all of our tables down when Taylor comes to play. And on to his stances. He does, as we were kind of talking about that Form 5 and Form 3, that Form 3 has a couple boxes, especially later in the tree at 3, 4, and 5, where there are 3 symbols in there. And I don't think, there may be other characters out there that have like a pin, a shove, and a damage all in one, or a recover, a push, and a damage, but a very versatile character where on both forms, in Form 5 and Form 3, there's a damage route and a protection route. Both have healing, regardless of what form you're in. Both have repositions, or not repositions, but both have some movement stuff as well, in jumps in the Form 3, and then a full reposition in the Form 5. Like, he has a lot going on. He really is kind of the mentor that anyone could need, because he can kind of fill a whole bunch of roles.
So, go ahead.
I was gonna say he's got that active superpower there on the Form 5 side, so he can do a whole bunch of stuff and then force push you as well.
Correct.
Right in the middle of it,
I wanted to specify that exactly, because throwing 7 dice and then it's a Jedi, like his expertise chart is fantastic. It's crits,
Right.
So him getting to 4 down the chart is not hard.
Correct.
Right. So you have like either a jump or a pin and then a shove and then whatever else you want, and then you get a force push as well. Come on. That's so awesome.
Come on.
And then he can reposition if you keep going.
Yeah, especially if you're looking at his bottom track on Form 4. Yeah, being able to do, what is that? It's still a handful of damage. 4 damage with a shove, a jump, 2 recovers, a force push, and a reposition. You can really drastically change the battlefield in a single attack with him.
He's incredible.
And I think he has, a maximum of 8 on Form 5 and 7 damage on Form 3.
Looks like it, yeah.
That's good for Jedi for sure.
And just on both tenacious defenses, on both sides of the card, first expertise is 2 blocks.
Yeah.
Out of the gate, 2.
Yep.
2 for 1.
Correct.
Jedi deal.
But I thought that was fantastic. I'm very excited. This might actually get me playing Gar instead of just droids, Dathomirians, and bounty hunters, and Inquisitors, and also, I guess, literally everything in the game but Galactic Republic. But, yeah,
I got you covered, 'cause
I'm
that's
pretty,
all I've played.
I'm
I
pretty
mean, it's
stoked.
Gar with Django. Let's be real.
Oh, yeah, well, listen, he's 8, so I have a bunch of options to be able to fit Django in there, too. But, so moving on from that, we also got the card for our first Stormtrooper. The Stormtrooper Sergeant that's going to be coming in the box with Darth Vader, as well as the Stormtrooper Sergeant and a couple good old Stormtroopers. Now, one of the things that they were talking about for this particular faction, right, for the Empire, this is some of the first times we've seen like real legitimate Empire, is that they are all about kind of using people as resources to get the job done. Whether that's taking damage to get extra dice on attack or extra movement, really working people significantly harder and pushing them further than they should be pushed, all to be able to achieve whatever that goal is or obtain whatever asset that is they're going for. The first card that we get to see from this particular box really kind of makes that very clear right out of the get. So the tactical ability for the Stormtrooper Sergeant is inexorable.
I was pretty good.
Advance.
It was pretty good. You were close.
I struggled through that. I was sounding it out in the car on the way here today, just being like, inexorable cheeseburger. Advance.
It's cheeseburger.
Dooncrawler advance.
I'm a Gogger Goongallard. But, so at at the start of this unit's activation, you may choose an allied Galactic Empire supporting unit. Each character in this chosen unit may advance. If any characters advance, the chosen unit suffers a damage. So it was really cool. Yeah, 100%. A full advance on any... Now, granted, it's only supporting units. But, listen, they got to get up there. If they're going to die and miss a whole bunch, they got to be up there now.
Yeah. We were actually...
Go for it.
We were actually teased that the regular Stormtroopers, the 2 Stormtroopers, are going to be 4 points as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be good, and you get a full advance for just 1 damage. Worth. Absolutely worth.
Also, can we take a super quick second and just talk about how great it is to have another confirmed secondary that's 3 PC?
Yes.
Yeah, for real.
So just, don't fret Lord Vader, don't fret Anakin or Dooku. There are, well, I guess Dooku can't use them, huh? Because this is...
just at this point, it's Vader.
Yep, Galactic Civil War era. But...
what's nice...
And the Inquisitor.
I was going to say, the Inexorable Advance does work on Fourth Sister and Fifth Brother, because they are Imperial support units.
Oh, heck yes.
Yeah.
Right, because they have the dual era, so they can be in that squad.
Man, how great is that on those two, too, who count or who break ties in their favor?
Yeah, absolutely.
Advancing up. Not even for force, for damage.
Yep.
Worth.
Right?
Every time.
Okay, I'll take it.
Every time.
So his only active is called Imperial Firepower. It costs 1 force. He gets to choose an enemy character within range 4 of 2 or more allied Galactic Empire characters. The chosen character gains pin or disarm. Now, personally, this is a little underwhelming for me. Granted, it is a Stormtrooper, but that seems like a heavy cost.
Yeah.
And some mechanics. Now, granted, you're going to be like kind of flooding the field, right, with Galactic Empire, so chances are having 2 within range 4 isn't going to be super difficult, but a force for pin or disarm, granted, it's there. You can use it, and you might need it in a pinch, but when you look at things like Darth Maul's pull or Django, being able to pin and pull somebody off of a thing for the same cost is, it seems expensive. Not expensive. It seems like there's not a whole world of value there, unless you really need it.
Here's the good news. Vader, being Anakin, is usually coming with at least 4 force points.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you're going to have the force, most likely. But again, I don't know if I'm going to use it on this.
Yeah.
They it
Right.
also shows that difference between a 3-point cost secondary and a 4-point cost secondary, comparing it to Django like that.
That's actually a very good point.
Yep.
Also, I'm shocked no one in chat has mentioned this, but I have you two reversed.
Oh, they did. Yeah, Chuck said something.
Oh, they did? Well, it was Chuck. He's,
Oh, I didn't realize that's what he meant.
look at
I
that.
didn't notice. I didn't even notice. I'm not Taylor.
Thanks,
I'm
Chuck.
not anymore.
Might be.
Look at that.
Funny.
Now we have the right one.
He did actually. If you
Oh,
could turn
that's
us
why
up
he
just a little
said
bit,
Dane
too.
looked attractive, because it was Taylor's picture.
Oh, gotcha.
That's all right. We'll get. It's the professional casual show.
Correct. Now, it's very similar to the Clone Troopers. They do have a similar effect in Coordinated Offensive. When a character in this unit or another allied Stormtrooper character makes an attack as part of a combat action before dice are rolled, this unit may use this ability. Add 1 die to the attack roll for each allied Stormtrooper unit other than the attacking unit that is within range 5 and line of sight of the target.
Whoa.
It's so good.
It is very good.
Weight
so
of fire
good.
there.
And then the last piece is just icing on the cake.
Mm-hmm.
Only Imperial Stormtroopers are so precise. Characters in this unit have Sharpshooter 1. I love it.
Wait. Can you please say that in the Alec Guinness voice?
Only Imperial Stormtroopers are so precise. No, I can't.
That was fantastic.
Thank you. I
And
practiced.
I really appreciated how Schick was talking about in the panel that, like, yeah, we all joke about how Stormtroopers can't hit anything. There is some, like, in-universe explanation for that, where they had orders not to kill Luke or Leia, later on at least. But he says, they're not super inaccurate when they're shooting at anybody else. Like,
Yeah.
they are trained soldiers. They do know how to fire their weapons. Like, it's really more just a meme and a joke. Like, they can shoot, yes.
Mhm.
So I like that he covered that, and then they have even in there to be sharpshooters as well. And like they said, they just like to work with quotes. Like, that's a classic one about stormtroopers.
Oh, for sure.
Well, and can we just call a little bit of attention to the art on this card too? Like, how do you know he is a sergeant over a regular trooper? He's thrown the knife hand. Outlawed
knife hand.
in many branches of the military, but the knife hand's still alive in the Empire. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Something
There
that
are
they
no
brought
Geneva
up.
conventions in space.
Or he could be throwing paper. That could also be a rock, paper, scissors type situation.
and thank goodness for that, Dan, because I mean, Chopper would just be he'd be in jail.
To be fair, a lot of the Jedi too.
Yeah. And something that they brought up in stream is the sassy trooper, and just his stance is just this like side stance sass. It's so good.
so good.
Look at that. It is really stellar. Really
He's so
stellar.
sassy.
Well, and kind of to circle back to the joke that regularly gets said about stormtroopers is, you know what? Maybe they miss a lot, but with a pose like that, he can still slay.
With a fistful of credits.
The Cad Bane box.
Yeah, right.
But so another thing that was revealed, which we had only seen a little bit of, was Wookiees. I'm sorry, not Wookiees at all.
There's one later on, but yeah. Different bird creatures.
Awoks, I think is what they're called. Awoks were also revealed with Leia. And we got a whole bunch of information about this as well. So this box comes with 2 primaries. So you can choose Leia as your primary, or you can choose, what was his name, Framunda? Logray. Logray, sorry.
Logray's the other box. This is
gotcha.
Like Chirrut or something like that.
Oh, that's right. I think I actually
Not
wrote that
Chirrut,
down
he's
somewhere.
from Rogue One, but a slightly different name.
Ugh.
Somebody put it in the Discord. I can find it.
I think I wrote it down somewhere. Chirpa.
Chirpa, that's it.
That's it, yeah.
From the Trapper's Yub Nub pack.
Yep.
But
Yeah, I love that there's different primaries in this. So if you just want to go oops all Ewoks, you absolutely can, or throw some rebel goodness in there with Leia. This is so great.
Lindsay, thank you for reminding me that I didn't turn off sound alerts. There's
Wow.
easier ways to illustrate that to me.
So, Dan, I think there's something that is funny that you bring up is these Ewoks that we've seen so far, which is the next set. Sorry to spoil some things. Is they actually don't have the Rebel tag.
Right. True.
Yes.
They're Endor Ewok, and the one that we saw was Shaman. So I'm wondering if Leia is going to have the Endor tag on this. I would hope so, but I don't know if it's going to come up at all.
That'd be a cool one, yeah, to differentiate her from. I'm assuming we'll have other versions of her as well. How this one might act differently. But I'm super excited for these boxes. I've always loved Ewoks. I've introduced to Star Wars as a kid. They were fantastic.
Absolutely.
Cool stuff.
So something that some people were a little bit miffed about is those with keen eyes can see that these two supporting miniature bases are exactly the same. I'm unsure if they confirmed whether or not there was alternate options. However, there were other people in chat that were like, I mean, both B1s are the same, both B2s are the same. Like,
it's a little more obvious. The Ewoks, we can easily just paint them differently. They have a lot of different variations to their fur.
Yeah,
right,
that'll
exactly.
make them look pretty different. Get some stripy guys in there.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's right. It's 3 Ewoks with bows, right? So because they're painted the same in this particular image, certainly you can do a lot with that.
The other part is it's Endor, so if you just make one base look like it's full of rocks with some leaves and make the other base look like it's full of trees with some leaves, you're good to go.
Yeah.
There's a lot to work with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's even some primaries that are exactly the same. Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker, for instance. They're pretty much the same person.
That's very true. They have similar heights, I would say.
I have it on good authority that Darth Vader killed Anakin Skywalker.
That sounds made up.
Republic propaganda.
Yeah. Where'd you hear that from? This Phoenix Squadron?
Oh, some old hermit in the desert planet that doesn't even...
Wizard.
It's a wizard. Probably giving deadly laser swords to teenagers.
Just irresponsible. Probably runs a speeder off of like blue milk that's been fermented or something too.
Fermented blue milk.
That's disgusting.
But so the next card we got today too was for Boosh, the mighty Boosh, Leia Organa. So we know for a fact that we are going to be getting kind of one of our first introductions to the Galactic Civil War outside of Darth Vader and the Stormtroopers is going to be the Jabba's Hutt version of Luke Skywalker, Leia, Lando, and R2-D2. I believe they did in fact say that the shaker and stuff on R2-D2 was optional, that there is a couple different forms for that. Luke is also going to have an additional torso based off of the Emperor's throne room scene, but he will keep those fantastic boots. Either option you go for that torso. Leia also can come with or without thermal detonator, and potentially, I believe I know they said Lando has some options with his helmet. I don't recall if they said that for Leia.
I think
they didn't specify for Leia.
I think while Dallas was painting, he hinted at it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that she does have options for the head. Don't quote me though. Tim, I did actually send you a picture. There were 2 Ewok squads that were shown. One of them has Logray. I don't know if we went over that one that has the...
we haven't gone off of Logray yet.
I'm sorry.
I do have that one for after this.
Cool. I didn't know if they were one after the other. My apologies. Back to Boosh.
It's how I saved them, right? So some of them are alphabetical and some of them are chronological. So
no, fair enough.
But so for the Mighty Boosh, she is a secondary that is for PC as well. And we were talking a little bit before we went live with this that Leia's pretty baller as a secondary in this. She has a very clear flow to her abilities, her tactical ability, her attacks, and her innate that kind of all make one very, honestly, present picture in my mind, at least, of what she's doing, swinging that staff around, keeping people at range, moving people where they need to be moved, and also potentially, using some of that I almost said daddy juice because of her innate from Anakin's innate, but I don't think that that would be the way to put it. But it's just, some of that, some of the same flair that Anakin has as far as gaining momentum. Some of the same oomph from her father. But let's start with fan out. Out of the gate, we do have a couple new tags here as well, I believe, in Rebel Alliance and Spy. She does have the Bounty Hunter keyword and tag, as well as Scoundrel. So she can work with existing bounty hunters. The bounty hunters that come in the Fistful of Credits box, very specifically, the supporting unit, is dual era and works with her within the same strike squad. But to benefit from like Cad Bane's innates and character abilities, she would have to be that would have to be in a different squad as part of the same strike force. Mm-hmm. But fan out, at the start of the unit's activation, one character in this unit or another allied spy character may reposition. And this is so much better than an advance. If you get an advance... I was going to
ask if you could clarify, like, why is it not just an advance? What's the difference there?
So the big, huge difference is if you're engaged and you advance, you use the dash tool. If you're engaged and you reposition, you get the full advance. There's very little few things that stop an advance or that stop a reposition. So it is a very significantly stronger version of getting an advance.
I kind of thought that was it, but thank you for clarifying.
There might be more to it. I don't believe you can change elevations freely with a reposition, and I don't think that you can do a third example of a thing with it.
Can you? I think you can still use an ingress point, but I will look that up just to make sure.
I believe you can. I believe it's dash, advanced, reposition, or jump.
Jump. Yeah, I think that's correct. And just a little disclaimer on this. It says allied spy character, and they did say on stream that both Lando and R2 have the spy keyword as well.
Ah.
Nice.
Bar2D2 can get a reposition whenever he needs.
Exactly.
So that flows very directly into the following ability that she has for 2 force, which is a little expensive at first until you realize that there's also a free action as part of this ability with low blow. Choose a character in this unit and an enemy character it is engaged with. Push the chosen enemy character range 2 away from the chosen allied character. Then push the chosen allied character range 2 towards the chosen enemy character. After all moves are resolved, this unit may make a focus action. So this is that right? This is hitting them with the staff and backing them off an objective and then following up so that you can still be contesting that objective but pushing an enemy character off of it and getting a free focus action for the follow-up womp that you're just going to rat them with. It's really good.
Shatterpoint.
Hashtag
and no wonder it costs 2 force. That's so good.
Well, and if it was just the reposition, I'd still say like it's all right. But with the free focus action there, that's solid. That's a really great ability.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which once again, and once the way her card laid out is, and her abilities, they all flow into one another. It all makes sense as you read down the card exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You're moving up onto an objective. You're low blowing an opponent off of it, leaving yourself on it. You're getting a focus action, and then what are you probably going to do? You're probably going to hit him with your stick. Well, guess what? Fearless and inventive. For 1 force, when a character in this unit makes a melee attack as part of a combat action before dice are rolled, this unit may use this ability. Add 2 dice to the attack for each enemy character other than the target that is not wounded and is engaged with 1 or more characters in this unit. So, very specifically, because it says each enemy character, not each enemy unit. That means you go up there and you push some B1s off of the objective. There are 2 there. Now you're getting your focus die and 2 additional die to really just cream one of them with that stick. This is rad.
Yeah, daughter of Anakin. Anybody?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, I mean, very much. She wants to be surrounded. She's
yep.
Apparently, Jabba's palace is the Hell's Kitchen of Star Wars because she's just Daredevil going up in there and being like, "Yeah, bring as many as you can. Bring as many as you can."
That's really funny.
And the whole thing wouldn't be complete after you make that attack. That's probably going to have 3 to 4 extra dice on it. You have, I want 50,000, no less,
This is
as
so good.
a passive or as an innate. When a character in this unit wounds an enemy primary unit specifically, so you're not going to be able to trigger this off of some B1s, but it's easier to get extra dice off of B1s. Gain an additional momentum. Once again, that oomph from Daddy just kind of flowing through her, through the force and into a enemy primary unit. Once again, I apologize. You gain an additional momentum token unless the unit's controlling player spends a force.
I love that, putting the choice on your opponent. You want me to get an extra momentum, or are you going to spend a force?
I'm just gonna put my hand up here real quick. This is a great Maul counter
Yeah.
because Maul is all about hurting himself, and then she comes in and goes, "All right, you know,
You're not wrong. Yeah.
I'm gonna make you regret that."
Well, I think that plays very narratively too into Leia. As a politician, right? As a practiced strategist, being able to put that option on the other person, being like, listen, I win it either way. You choose your own downfall. Here you go. What is it going to be? You're going to give me that momentum? I don't even need it. You want to take the force? I know you need it. Or you don't. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. It's up to you to fail this choice. I really like it a lot.
Yeah, for real.
I'm
It
really
feels
excited
very
to see-
Dooku-esque.
Yes, very much
Yeah,
so.
for real. I'm really excited to see her stance cards, to see just how offensive she is to back up these powers, her
Same.
abilities here. Yeah, how likely is it going to be she's going to be able to bonk this primary unit? If she's got low blow with a focus action and then adding 2 dice potentially, or 4 dice even if you're real lucky, like maybe she might have a good chance at that.
Well, and who knows? Maybe there's an ability or another card out there somewhere, right, that gives all spies or scoundrels impact or something along those lines that could really give her a lot more oomph for the same focus or for the same force. Yeah, there's... And that's really kind of the cool thing, is some of those sweeping abilities that apply to everything in a tag change everything that has that tag, right? So as we've seen in some of these more recent boxes, as we flesh out some of the existing tags like Dathomirian or Battle Droid, Separatist Alliance, and things like that, like every new box really affects everything that came previous too. So a character might not come into their full potential until another box later comes out that has a character that really kind of brings spies together, scoundrels together, or Rebel Alliance together.
Like Hondo.
Exactly. Hondo will probably do it all, baby doll.
So, I think that's literally the only thing missing from this card is the sharpshooter or the impact that you get with that free focus, quote unquote free. So it's got to be coming from somewhere. I feel it, you know.
That would make a lot of sense.
I have this weird feeling that Lando's going to be like, if they are close to each other, you know, something's going to happen. But I don't know.
Or if they're alone or something like that, right? Because they're spies. So when a
Right,
spy's
yeah,
alone, they
true.
get or if they're not within range 4 of another spy or something along those lines. Can see it either way, scoundrel or spy. You know what I mean? Being able to provide that.
So good too.
Yeah, and
Stupid mini.
can we just take a second too to just how they did this with having this being one of the first editions of Leia in the game is not one I would have put money on, but is such an awesome one. But it's such an awesome way to do it.
Oh,
Definitely not.
like the Endor Ewok one, totally. I absolutely saw that coming.
Yeah.
Boosh, this is so cool.
Right?
This is one of the first action figures for this game I ever bought. Like,
Right.
Well, I still have it somewhere behind me.
Well, and very specifically, like in general, she's a kind of a mighty melee character. She is a mighty Boosh. It is not unthinkable to think that she might be drinking Bailey's from a shoe.
True, very true. I want to see some art from her, actually.
All right, so the other card, I think this was the last card that we got for this particular reveal today, was Logray, the Bright Tree Shaman. And something that Michael Plummer and Dallas talked a lot about was how Ewoks and especially narratively in Return of the Jedi, right? They were kind of ambushing the Empire. They had a very early lead, but as the battle kind of started to go on, the Empire kind of was like, oh, this is rocks and sticks. Yeah, that's right. We have giant tanks. We can figure this out. So the Ewoks as a strategy, as a tilt measure, I think Dallas said at one point, is you have to come out strong and fast and hard. You have to win that first mission as an Ewok and then fight and hope that you have enough staying power to get that second or third mission. And that could be very frustrating playing against Ewoks where you're like, okay, well, if I can take this first mission, there's going to be a whole bunch of bears off the board, and I'm going to be able to kind of control the match from there. But to that effect, Logray, the first Ewok card that we've seen so far, has the Endor Ewok and Shaman keywords. Inspiring,
Magic.
right? Well, he's got all sorts of secret ingredients, man. So the Inspiring Presence tactical ability, at the start of this unit's activation, each allied Ewok warrior unit gains cover and may remove a damage or one condition from itself. Then each allied Ewok scout character may dash.
So as far as I'm aware, I think those are the supports. I think the Ewok scouts are the two bases with the bows. And I think the Ewok warriors are those two bases right there. I could be
Almost
wrong.
I would certainly guess that. And like Wicket's probably a warrior. What was the other one? Chippy?
Right. Again, I could be wrong, but I think those are specifically those bases, right? You know what I mean? But we never got that confirmation. That's my speculation.
Those are going to be
here.
keywords for those units, I'm sure.
We know
Very
that
well could
there's
be.
also going to be trappers. So I think
Oh, okay. All right.
one of the units is also going to be a trapper. So we have 3 total Wookiee or Ewok units so far that we've seen, outside of some of the secondaries. So yeah,
Man, Ironbuster all over again.
it really is Hulkman Ironbuster all over again. But so we know we have scouts, trappers, and warriors at least so far.
Very cool. Okay.
But his first active ability, and all of his stuff at most costs 1 force, which is kind of cool. Especially, do we know? We haven't seen the front of his card, right? So we don't know his cost or his maximum squad points or the amount of force that he has. But Elder's Command costs 1 force. Choose an allied Ewok supporting character within range 4. The chosen character may get dash and then may gain hunker. Remove 1 condition from itself or make a 5 dice attack. So the way I read that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Taylor, you're a lot better than I am, but you're getting the dash and the hunker, and then you choose to remove a condition or make a 5 dice attack, or it's one of those 4 total.
So you dash, and then you can gain hunker, remove the condition, or make the attack.
So
it's
not
2.
any of the options I said.
It's 2 things.
Then
That makes sense. Okay.
So you dash and then do one of those 3.
that's pretty dope.
Yeah, I mean,
And
listen.
we've seen that on some other characters as well. I can't remember which ones. It might be Ahsoka.
I think you're right, or Dooku, where it was something along the lines of like, yeah, if one of your characters went down, you do this, then choose. So yeah, you're super spot on there. His next one is Stealthy Approach, also for 1 force. Each character in this unit may dash, and similar to the last one, which we just got clarification on, then this unit may gain hunker or immediately make a focus action. So an out of activation focus action. Obviously, to me, that says you're going to be using both of these potentially on the same character, getting an Ewok way up there, having them use a focus action, which is not a special condition. It does not go on. It's for the next attack this turn, focus actions. So
Stealthy Approach is only Logray.
You're right.
I was like, wait a second.
So you can still use both of these, but you probably won't be choosing them on the same character as Stealthy Approach. Don't know if you guys knew this or not. Only works on Logray himself.
didn't.
We got a lot of news today, so bear
Correct.
with us.
Then he has protective wards as an innate. While this character is not wounded, characters in other Ewok units within range 4 add 1 dice to their defense rolls. I don't think we've seen a defense steroid yet. We've seen attack steroids, and outside of Obi-Wan's cover stuff, I don't think we've seen additional defense dice, which is very cool.
Well, the amount of cover these guys are going to be getting,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They're just going to huck 8, 9 defense dice, I'm guessing.
Well, a supporting strike force to go in this squad as a whole. Obi-Wan could do a lot having these in a different squad with him.
Well, I think his is only Gar.
Oh.
No, allied characters do not. No, so his is allied characters do not lose their hunker when they become engaged. Everything else is Gar.
Okay, so Obi-Wan makes Ewoks melee covered juggernauts.
Yep.
And that could be the secret ingredient that they really need, much like Logray's character ability. What are they called?
They're not innates. Yes.
Oh, the unique ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've already said it 6 times during
Signature
this
ability? Is that it?
Not me looking. it up right
identity.
now.
Identity
There
ability.
it is.
We were close.
Each time an allied Ewok character wounds an enemy unit, roll an attack die. On a crit or hit result, refresh a force. On a failure or expertise result, each character in the attack unit may dash.
It's all benefits.
It is all
Anything
benefits.
you do is good. I love that.
Well, and listen, we know one thing about Ewoks, if we know anything about Ewoks, and it's that they are deadly murder drop bears. And if they drop somebody, even if they fail, they just keep moving on.
Yeah.
They see the life go out of its eyes, and they just dash away, even on a failure in expertise.
This is just prime guerrilla tactics.
It really is.
You
Well,
know?
bearilla tactics, but yeah.
Barilla, you're right. Wrong animal. Wrong animal. My bad.
Bear with a EU or UE. I always forget how to spell it.
BR?
No, that's
BR. Guerrilla tactics.
Barilla tactics.
Bearilla Tactics, also a great pasta brand. But the next thing they showed during the stream was an incredible piece of splash art that has Grievous, some B2s, and our man, our myth, our legend, Hondo.
The Kawarkian monkey. Hondo.
I
Yeah.
love Hondo.
Chat absolutely exploded when this picture went up on screen. It's when he came up, when they very, very, very briefly showed Hondo at Adepticon and how he was going to be eventually in Shatterpoint at some point. Also, the crowd just went nuts. People love Hondo.
How could you not?
What's not to love?
There's not a whole lot to not like, to be fair.
This image too is just so perfectly him because his pirates are like hunkered in, they're like shooting, and he's like, "I got the money, I'm out of here.
I gotta go."
Oh,
guys
Dolph
deal
Wallet,
with it.
peace.
Because he doesn't always win, but he never loses.
Right? Exactly.
Super. That's one of my favorite lines, personally.
I love Hondo so much.
What is the other one? When Hondo gets paid, everyone does, or something like that. Oh,
Now,
he's so good.
What this led into very specifically was something that I think everyone's been very excited about for a long time, and that is a new mission pack.
I'm
New
so
mission
excited.
pack. So good. It's what literally everybody wants.
There was so many yeses, like just in a stream all down chat today when that got
The chat exploded.
all cap yeses, like Daniel O'Brien, and also thank yous. It was a wrestler whose tagline, his shirt just said yes, 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 and he would come out and everyone would go yes, yes, yes.
The joke
Anyway.
was specifically for Chuck.
For Chuck. And Obi-Watts, probably. But
Oh yeah, okay.
yeah, so the Sabotage Showdown mission pack is going to be coming out November 3rd. Not only did we get this revealed, we got a release date for it, and it's just a little bit more than a month away, about 6 weeks, and we will have our second mission for Shatterpoint. Not only that, go for it.
Go ahead. Which has been aptly described as the death donut by the developers.
Mhm.
So good.
It's so good. Go on.
So there's a couple additional things here where during this particular reveal, they said, well, in the third mission pack, you might see something else. So it's like, oh, there's a third mission pack. Dope. All right. So it does seem like there will be some regularity with these mission pack releases, which is very good. As we've seen kind of with the character updates or the Crisis update in Marvel Crisis Protocol, something like this can really kind of freshen up gameplay as a whole and through a system as a mechanic is very good for the longevity of a game like this, especially when, you know what I mean, Marvel has thousands potentially of characters that we want to see in that game. Star Wars easily probably 4 or 5, but I'm kidding. But certainly hundreds of characters that could be involved, and you know, having these refreshes, having these additional ways to play goes a very long way in keeping a community alive.
There were some grumbles and bumbles that people were like, oh, I have to buy a pack of mission stuff. And I was like, I gotta be honest, I'm glad it's not like MCP is. I'm glad it's not locked behind a $45 model pack.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I was gonna say that too. That like they've learned that that's not the best way to release that kind of content. You know, kind of gated behind something that people might not want to get. If it's with particular models, so having its own pack, I think makes the most sense. And you're gonna get, AMG always has great production values. You're gonna get high quality cards. I think it's totally fine in the way to do it.
And you're gonna get like 50 of them in different languages too. It's gonna be awesome.
If you've ever wanted to practice your Gambit card throwing skills like Keebler, I mean, honestly, those additional languages are probably a great way to do it. Actually, I've been seeing some really cool stuff on some of the groups and in the Discord of people making like really cool like poster displays or like tabletops of like all the different language cards, and I think that stuff is really cool.
Dan told me that some people were like playing memory with their kids with the activation cards, which is really cute.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
But so now, in addition to this being a new mission, there's also a new effect in this particular one. Whether we'll see this in other mission packs later on or not, that is completely up in the air. But in addition to a new shape and 9 total new mission cards, we are also going to be getting a new effect. So in this particular Sabotage Showdown, your Shatterpoint card also imbues your character, or the character that you use that Shatterpoint card with an additional ability. Now, we don't know all of these cards yet. We only see one, which is we need more time. And what that does is the character that you give the Shatterpoint card to, or that you play with the Shatterpoint card, gets press forward, where they get to make an additional dash at the start of their turn as a tactical ability. And that character gains that ability if they are activated with the Shatterpoint card. Now, we don't know. Every one of these missions could have a different ability on it. It could be the theme of just this box, where Shatterpoint cards are giving a whole bunch of different effects. They could all be the same. We don't know. Either way, that's kind of exciting, right? So
yes, that's incredible.
Absolutely.
This is another layer to an existing system that will make it significantly more exciting and add that more depth, right? I'm very, very stoked for this.
And if we just look at we need more time, like which tokens are active, they are on top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're just in a line. Like, this is going to be a death donut. This is brutal.
They're describing it's much more compact towards the middle of the table, and I believe there's 2 fewer objectives too, isn't there?
I didn't check.
So it does seem, so assuming those ones in the front are in fact Mission 1 cards, yes, because you can see on the back line with the Find the Escape Tunnel and Didn't Expect a Welcome Party, also looks like it is using the priority system. Oh, you know what? Look at that middle line. Look at Shut Down the Alarms. That has just a circle. Oh, it's so small. So it looks like there may be 4 Mission 1s, 3 Mission 2s, and 2... Listen, we don't know.
So this
very well could not be showing all the cards for that setup anyway.
Yeah, correct. And I think what Dan really pointed out here was there are 2 fewer objectives. There's only 7 on the table instead of 9.
Yeah, instead of 3-3-3, it's 2-3-2.
Yep.
and
Yeah,
those
that's-
twos are much closer together towards the center.
Yep, that's going to be
Really going to change it up.
But from
Hey,
looking at that
well-
closer, that shut down the alarms is definitely a more traditional circle and not the shield symbol. So those front 3 cards do have the priority system. It looks like the first one in that second row does show like a
It's
standard
probably
kind
the
of first
first.
mission. Yeah.
Yep, yeah. Oh man, this is so exciting.
I'm excited to be in a position where we are like zooming in on cards again to try to find out more information.
We haven't had to do that in a while.
It's
Yeah,
been a
for real.
hot minute.
For real.
But once again, these drop November 3rd. This is going to be a great addition to the game, and we're excited to see it.
But wait, there's more. We didn't just get a piece of Hondo artwork.
We got we did see these models at
3D
Adepticon, but we got to see them painted up, and there have been some changes to these models too since we first saw them. And that pose that Hondo in,
Perfect.
It's so good. Hey,
It's so
my
perfect.
friend.
He looks so good. I don't even care about the pirates. The pirates look great too, but he's so perfect.
Right? It's all about Hondo, though. Let's be
Oh.
honest. It
well,
always is all about Hondo.
and we know we have Guarm as the secondary as well, and then 2
Yes.
pirates as the supporting units.
He used the whole band as a secondary.
Yeah.
That's Guar. It's different.
Oh, I thought
No.
you said Guar.
I said Guarm.
Oh, I missed the M.
No, that's a monster from Morrowind. Anyways,
Oh no.
and his Kevorkian monkey lizard is there too. It's
I
so
love
perfect.
it. It's
And the one
great.
pirate's even got the thing of credits. He's like, I'm out of here. I got my money.
Instead of
Ugh.
tactical rock, like tactical cargo and credit boxes. It's so great.
Everything about this pack.
Mhm.
It's so perfect.
They really nailed this one. We haven't seen the cards yet, and I'm sold. Like
I don't
I'm
care.
getting it.
Well, and so can we assume, is it safe to assume that at least the scoundrel tag will be on this card?
Yeah.
Will we see pirate as its own tag?
I hope so.
Will we
That'd be
see
cool.
bounty hunter on it? They're not really bounty hunters, right? But
Nah.
scoundrel for sure.
I mean,
Scoundrel.
if you pay him enough, he might be a bounty hunter.
Oh, that's true.
you know?
This is gonna loop back into
Smuggler,
that like
maybe?
hour-long
Ooh.
mercenary conversation Tisdale and I had a couple
Oh,
episodes
no.
ago.
I don't think Hondo's a mercenary. Anyways,
No, I don't think so either.
no, I
would
think
say maybe smuggler, but I think that kind of easily could be rolled into scoundrel.
Yeah, I don't know if smuggler and scout. Yeah, I could see it either way.
the
but-
only reason I think smuggler as well is because of
Don't talk to me
Han.
until I've used the smuggler.
Shut up. It's Han is specifically a smuggler. You know what I mean? But he's
Right.
also a scoundrel. So I don't know. That's
Well,
rough.
and speaking of, we did get, let's skip ahead a little bit to that exact thing. We did get the reveal
yeah.
for Han and Chewie. And I just have to point this out really quick. I love the face that they gave to Chewie. I think it's really
Yeah.
good. It is super in that anime. You can go a lot of ways, right? With a Wookiee, especially Chewie. But the fact that they kept that in that very clear Star or Clone Wars aesthetic to a character that was not in the Chewie wasn't in the Clone Wars, right?
He fought in the Clone Wars, yeah.
But was he in
He
the
was
Clone
in-
Wars show?
He may have been a little bit. I can't remember.
He
now.
might have been in an episode, but there were Wookiees.
Yeah.
Just
I-
not
He
Chewie.
was definitely in one of the cartoons at some point. I can't
Yeah.
remember exactly which one.
I just think the style that they have done his face in is very clearly supposed to kind of maintain the aesthetic. I wasn't familiar with that particular face, but to me it was like, oh yeah, that's Clone Wars style Chewie,
Yep.
right?
So specifically, I'm very surprised that AMG got Harrison Ford to come in and get 3D printed into like this beautiful miniature 3D.
Dude, for real.
Right? It
it's-
looks so much like
It
him.
looks
And the fact that they were
just-
able to do that in 1991 when he still looked like that.
It looks just like Harrison Ford. It's incredible the detail on this mini.
Mhm.
It looks exactly like I don't know. It's amazing. How did they get him
Very
to come
impressive. It's really impressive.
It's actually just him. They actually used the same technology that was in that Matt Damon movie called Downsizing, where you could shrink yourself to save a whole bunch of money. And then they just,
Scan.
yeah.
3D scan?
Yep.
Sorry, I can't think of words.
But yeah,
Oh,
that was a huge reveal. Now, granted, we knew Han was coming right from kind of the end of the Shatterpoint segment at Adepticon, but to see Chewie and then what I'm assuming are some Republic soldiers, it's pretty exciting. And Chewie looks real good.
Yeah.
Who
Real
I'm
good.
guessing, because of the way the rebel soldiers look, I'm guessing they're going to get the Ewok tag or not Ewok, Endor tag as well.
That could very well be.
That
You
would
know?
make a lot of sense, yeah.
Well,
Han's not in his Endor outfit, but
Right.
Well, they did
troopers
say it's a
clearly are.
mix, right? Is the pants and the vest are from kind of two different Hans a little bit, kind of gliding them together a little bit.
It's also Lando's outfit.
Yeah. Oh, from the Andor attack, specifically, right?
No, at some point, Lando Calrissian is standing in like a spaceship in in Han's outfit.
Oh.
Like for some reason, he just has Han's outfit on during like one scene in the old movies. It's really weird. Anyways,
So one of the other reveals, to go back to Adepticon stuff real quick before we get into the new things, was we knew that Mando and Grogu were going to be coming to Shatterpoint.
Yeah.
What we didn't know was that we were going to be getting an IG as well as... Hold on.
You got it?
Oh, it's right there. Chubs.
Yeah, Grief Karga
Grief Karga.
and IG-11.
But...
you sure it's not Mon Mothma?
But we did the IG-11. I wanted to say 88. Is there an IG-88 as well?
Yes, that's a
Yes.
different assassin droid.
Okay. But the very particular pose of this sculpt of the IG-11 having that that 360 view, right, where he has the gun behind his back pointing at someone else while he's pointing kind of like 3/4 in the front of him as well. That sculpt is stellar. Very
really
solid
cool.
job. And Mando looks dope as heck.
Oh,
How-
I love this Mando model.
How they got Grogu to look like he's actually floating above the base is so cool.
Right. Where
Yeah.
is even the point of contact? Is that part of the cape?
It's
I'm
either
assuming
that or
the-
his hand.
Yeah, the floaty thing's got to be. Yeah, maybe it's in the back of his hand, and the cape at the same time, or one or the
It's
other. It's
such
really
a-
impressive.
Yeah, it's such a great piece of like weird perspective. I love it.
Well, and just the pose that Grogu's in too, that like leaning forward, like trying to see something, like almost falling out, like on the edge, looking over the balcony style, like that he does so much in that show. It's
looks excited.
really capsulized there in a very, very good way.
I can hear the theme song.
Right? It's a really
Right?
well done set.
And I feel like they I think this was the one Dallas was talking about, how that IG-11 was like the first sculpt idea that he had. I think this is this mini, and he did
It
a
was
whole bunch of.
Mando.
Was it Mando?
They
Okay,
said that
yeah,
Mando was the first one they designed as their proof of concept for the whole thing,
yeah.
because
And then
everybody
everyone
loves
just
Mando.
was like, yes, 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 you know.
Yeah, well, yeah. Once again, chat absolutely exploded when this came on screen. Grieve Karga being there is also super cool. It might mean that we get a lot of other characters from the Mandalorian in this, and we will see that we are going to be getting some more characters from the Mandalorian in this.
What?
But I guess let's just jump right into that too. Moff Gideon
Moff Gideon and the Dark Troopers.
with
perfect.
the Darksaber,
He's perfect.
with the Dark Trooper, with the Death Trooper and 2 Dark Troopers.
Oh, there's a Death Trooper. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that.
Yeah.
I thought it was just three Dark Troopers.
Yeah,
That's cool.
the Death Troopers, the secondary, and the Dark Troopers are going to be the supports.
Oh.
That pose too, especially when you think of, whenever I'm thinking about any other show that he's in, I can remember his name. Plays Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
Dude guy.
Yeah.
I always say his name wrong. Giancarlo Esposito,
Yes.
or
But
is it Giancarlo?
One of
I
those
always
two.
pronounce the G incorrectly, but yeah.
Sir Esposito.
Espacito. But the pose
He's
is great.
amazing.
The flowing cape behind him, the dark saber behind him, and the gun right out is really stellar. The Death Trooper also looks fantastic, and the Dark Troopers are just kind of spot on, like like they were in the show, almost RoboCopy, right? With very jagged, angular movements. Yeah.
The Death Trooper is such a nice aggressive stance for a guy with a gun. Like he
Yeah.
looks like he's gonna take you down. He's not
And
gonna miss.
Schick was saying as well, he goes, they put the Death Trooper down in front of me, and I was like, that's way too big. And they were like, nope, it's a 7 foot tall. Yeah,
Death Troopers
it's
are
that big.
huge.
Yep.
Death Troopers are big too, huh?
Yep.
But yeah,
Super Dark Squad.
this is a set I'm super excited for, and the just the awesome thing. There is so much that was revealed, and these will all be pretty much in the next 6 to 7 months. Pretty effectively now, between now and Adepticon, everything that we've gone over for Marvel Crisis Protocol and Shatterpoint is going to be out before Adepticon next year.
Yep.
Yep.
That's wild.
It's
playable at Adepticon.
Mm-hmm. Now another thing from. Oh. Went too far.
Whoa!
Whoa! Wait, maybe I didn't go far enough. Uh-oh.
I mean,
do I have a picture for him? I thought I did.
Who's that?
Oh, no, I don't. For Delmico and the Infernal Troopers.
Oh,
I guess I don't have a picture
for
it.
About these characters, I know she's from the Battlefront 2, like the more recent one, because she's the character you play in like the campaign mode. But I don't know much about the rest of these.
Well, here's what you need to know, Dan, is that they all come with or without helmet options. So if you don't like the way that they're the trooper helmets on them are awesome. Like if you look at the detail, if you pull up a picture of this somewhere else that's not this live stream right now because I forgot to save this picture, listen, they're dope.
So every single trooper that was revealed today is perfect.
Yeah.
The sculpt is perfect. The helmets are great. Every single one of them. The stormtroopers, the dark troop. Oh my gosh, they're so good.
Did they give? I missed this part on the stream. Did they give any details about? There's 5 models here. Is it 2?
2 primaries.
There's 2 different primaries.
Yes.
And then one of the dudes is a secondary, and then the 2 troopers are the support.
As far as I remember, yes.
That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, because traditionally in the Inferno squad, there was 2 commanding officers, Garrick and Iden. That might not have anything to do with this whatsoever, but when I Googled Inferno Trooper, that's what came up.
Cool.
So
I know that's Iden, like Versio or something. She's in Legion as well with, as the commander. I forget what it's called.
So Garrick would be the other commander then. So he, I believe, would be probably the one right to the right to her. Yeah.
Yeah. A huge blaster.
Yeah, that guy looks mean.
Huge blaster. Oh my gosh, I can't get over these troopers.
They're so good. They're really good.
As someone who always loved the trooper aesthetic, they're just so good.
Yeah, and maybe that's why I like Empire so much, is that the look of troopers is just really good. Like,
if I won the lottery today, I would buy a clone trooper full armor set and then a stormtrooper full armor set.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But so outside them, we also got the reveal finally of the garage. This is something that it seemed like all week on stream they kept talking about the garage, or when are you going to show us the garage? Show us the garage. And we have it. Not only do we have that, we finally have the origination of Shatterpoint with the Womp Rat as an additional kind of like scatter terrain there. Not quite a gonk, all Shatterpoint.
So Dallas also said that I think every single terrain box is going to have some little doodad.
Yeah,
right? So like a Womp Rat, a little mascot. Yeah, and I'm there for it. Absolutely.
For real.
Well, and when you think of the set pieces, right? The landscape, when they zoom in on a new planet, there's always some like little creature somewhere, and maybe it runs off, or it's laying on a rock, or it's like yawning because it's like the sun setting or something. And that's always there. It's so built in. Exactly. Yep.
Yep.
Well,
Honestly, what I'm thinking about is the training scene in Kung Pao, where there is a fully CG animated weird little creature that just gets alerted to the camera and runs off into the bushes, and it's not referenced in any way, shape, or form. That's what I think of when I think of those set pieces in Star Wars.
Specifically, Star Wars Shatterpoint terrain. That's where my brain goes.
But a very cool piece of terrain, especially one that has kind of almost an inside, right? When you're inside that kind of garage bay, where you could have a whole bunch of neat interactions within that. And I'm really kind of excited to see if there's any additional clarification on those rules and line of sight through something like that. That's really nifty.
And they did say that little piece up top, it's hard for me to explain, that connects like the main walkway to that little tower is movable. So you can just move that wherever you need to if you don't want it to cover that piece as well, which is nice.
Okay. So, as great as Shatterpoint is, now I had to go back and check this, and I didn't, but I'm going to pretend like I did. And that is, at Adepticon this past year, they announced the Bad Batch for Legion. They announced Rebels for Shatterpoint. However, we got an official announcement today that the Bad Batch is going to be coming to Shatterpoint. There it is. I was like, where's the picture? Oh, hey, there's the Inferno Troopers. I found it.
She is.
It was the very last one in line for some reason. But so that's what we were talking about. That's Iden in the center, and we believe Garrick right to the right of her, and then there's just those awesome looking troopers. But yes, so
Bad Batch.
I lost it again. There it is. The Bad Batch. So they said that models are still in work for this, so there's going to be a lot of... They have some base sculpts ready, but there's going to be a lot of changes to those over the next few months, so that they weren't ready to show that. But we know officially that we are going to be getting the Bad Batch. Wrecker's going to wreck, you know what I mean?
I'm so excited for Wrecker.
I can't wait. I really can't.
My favorite.
And they did say something as well. I didn't get the whole thing about it, but they said like the brains of the batch and the brawn of the batch and all that sort of stuff. They hinted at some like different things on, and I guess Wrecker is like gonna be blasting through like a bulkhead or something like that potentially.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Right? Like I'm just so, and the gang's all there too.
Even Link, it's so great.
Even Link. That's Zelerdol. That's not Link. I guess I meant Crosshair.
But I am partway through the first season of the Bad Batch. It's something I wish I hadn't left so long, because it is just a really kind of stellar show.
It's so good.
It's very good.
good.
So
Yeah.
I'm very excited that this gets announced while I'm kind of experiencing the Bad Batch for the first time. It's Ratterbegatters, which is one step kind of above Dopers McGopers. So, I don't say that lightly.
Is it safe to assume that Crosshair is your favorite Bad Batch?
Yes.
I mean, obviously Wrecker's mine. That's so typical of me, like the big, dumb, strong guy. I think Taylor, I'm gonna go. I think yours is Tech.
I love Tech a lot just because of his like social anxiety, weirdness, and all that. But he doesn't get enough screen time. But I really like Echo. I really think Echo is super dope. I don't know. He's kind of like the middle ground between like Tech's social awkwardness and everyone else.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, Crosshair towards the beginning, because once again, I'm very early in it. But Crosshair being like, well, remember I'm lawful evil, though, so I'm going to go do that. Sorry, guys. I was like, yeah, you do that. Good job, bud.
I'm so glad to know that you're watching this show, because you need to send me updates of what episodes you've seen, because I think I've seen this series like 3 times now.
It's 2 seasons or 3?
What's that?
Is it 2 seasons?
Yes.
Far. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So once I finish Ted Lasso, that's what we're diving back into next. Is Ted Lasso's so good. But currently, I give Tisdale updates on what episode I'm on, so that we can discuss them as I go through. But I will absolutely swap out for Bad Batch with you after we're done with that.
Yes, please.
And then, similar to Adepticon, we don't have any more information on the Rebels. They did give us kind of the same splash art here. They are coming. We know
Game
we're be
boosters.
getting these characters. So yeah.
Those, I think those are new. That art, those are promo unit cards.
Oh.
Yeah, so that confirms that Hera, Kanan, and Sabine have when this unit activates
Oh, right.
abilities.
They got technical abilities. I didn't
Oh.
make that connection, but
Yep. So
very
those are
clearly that
promo art
symbol.
cards. Yep.
That is dope. It's been a long time since we've gotten any promos for this particular one. Not
Oh
the
my
first time
God.
I've used that joke. Won't be the last.
No, I like
Is it the
Keep
first
going
time
with it.
on this stream? Because I don't
It is the first time in this stream. I've used it in Discord, which, by the way, you can join for free. That link is right down below, and get access to the base level of the Professional Casual Network Discord. And then, subbing on here on Twitch or throwing us a bone or two over at patreon.com/professional casual will get you the full edition. If you think JB's weird in the free version, get ready. I've already had 2 conversations with him because we've been getting a lot of activity in the Discord over the last few days, and he keeps tagging random people as if he knows them.
Yeah, he does. At least he's not tagging in the same images he's tagging me in. Every time.
He's such a blessing. I love him so much.
He is a wild
Real
card.
quick though, with these promo art cards for the Ghost Crew, some people have been translating the language there, the
Yo.
Arabesh. So the top part, I think it just says wanted.
Yep.
And then it says for crimes against the Empire below that.
That's so
And
cool.
then it has their name. Like we can see where Zeb, it says Zeb in quotes.
Oh, yeah.
And then it says the rest of it's just too small for people to read to translate. But
Dude, I love nerds.
Right?
So much.
it's kind of fun now that we're looking at it. You can kind of see the names in some places. Like Kanan almost looks like Kanan.
That's so cool.
I can't wait for a chopper model. Oh my god!
I know. And we've seen the I think the 3D renders from Adepticon. I'm pretty sure. I'd have to look that up again, but I'm pretty sure we've seen renders of these minis.
I
at Adepticon.
feel like we did as well.
That sounds kind of familiar.
And then kind of the last
Look through the archives.
The last big thing, since we're well past the halfway point of what we were planning to do, time-wise, the splash screen, similar to the Dracula we got yesterday for MCP, we did get my boy, my chiss from another miss, Thrawn himself.
I'll take the joke. I don't even care about the joke. I'm just glad he's here.
I love the idea of Thrawn in this game because he'd I can't wait to see what those are because he doesn't get into the thick of it himself unless all of his 13 other plans fell through somehow because some random thing happened because whatever nonsense the rebels did.
Yeah.
I really want to see how they put that into this game. I'm super excited.
If you thought I liked Dooku, you have no idea how much I love Thrawn.
The entire Rebels series, he gets angry once for 3 seconds and then he's back to his composure and I was like, oh god, I am terrified of this man.
Oh, and his voice actor is so perfect.
It's perfect.
Oh, I love Thrawn.
I'm trying to remember what it was. Tisdale recommended me a book series that was heavily based around Thrawn. Is that?
Yes. What are those?
Catalyst?
No, Catalyst is the Rogue One prequel, which is really good, by the way.
That's why I have that
that's
downloaded.
Also a Old Republic one, High Republic one, I believe, is also called Catalyst. I mean, there's a Thrawn series. Timothy Zahn wrote it.
Yes.
There's one for in Legends, and then he rewrote it to fit within canon.
Yeah.
So there's called the Thrawn series. There's 3 books. I've been meaning to read it forever. I just haven't gotten around to it because I believe Timothy Zahn is the one who created the character with those books,
very cool.
And then Dave Filoni was able to bring him back into canon with Rebels and everything.
Yeah. I'm sorry, did we just make our own book club to read the Thrawn series?
Yeah, probably. Join the Discord as we reinvigorate the book club so we can read the Thrawn books because yeah.
Thrawn series books 1 through 3 collection, add to cart. All right.
Make sure you got, which ones you want. how important Legends is to you, because they're both written by Timothy Zahn.
So let's switch gears here real quick. Let's head over to some Marvel Crisis Protocol. Today, a whole bunch of information came out that I don't think any of us were really expecting. The dearth of information that AMG
Marvel
revealed
Crisis
today.
Protocol? What's this brand new game?
Well, I mean, for real, with this update, it probably is. Dylan Dyer is probably like, yo, I'll check this game out. It sounds pretty good. But
I don't know. It's got good mutants in it, so.
But while I am switching this over, if you two just really quick want to check the the Power Phase chat, I will get up these new character spoilers that we have for Marvel Crisis Protocol. Now, it was revealed that we are getting a bunch of updates to character cards like we did a few years ago. This is insanely exciting. There is a lot of great things that a lot of us have been asking for. If you were in chat during this particular stream from Ministravaganza, it was a constant hour-long wall of thank you, yes, hell yeah. It was good, it was insanely energetic, and there was a ton of really hype-worthy information in here. And it started out really strong, specifically for me. So let's jump right into it. These changes are live on the new Atomic Mass site right now. There's the the September 2023 card update is active. It's live there. Print and play. This information is out there for you to use right this second. It was an incredible interaction in stream today when someone in chat asked, when will these be available? And Schick said, I don't know, 30 minutes. And then Simone in chat was like, here's the link. It'll be live when the stream ends. It was awesome.
Yeah, for real.
So awesome. Okay, let's get into it. These are big. They're awesome. They're meaty. They're everything, quite frankly, that we could have wanted. And we will start with a personal favorite of mine. I've been a champion of this character for a very long time, as has Mr. Dizzard. I saw him in chat, and we got to have a little bit of a moment having this particular.
I remember seeing that moment.
This particular character, that's what it was. When we were talking earlier, there are some idioms around the network that sometimes slip into the lexicon of other groups. And when this particular character, Cable, came up, I think Pagani said, who is that?
That's what it was, yeah. I think all three of us put that into the chat, and then he's like, who? That's really good.
It was so good.
But we have an update not only to Cable, Nathan Summers himself, we have an update to the X-Force affiliation ability as a whole. The changes here are slight, and that's all that was needed. He was not overcorrected, and I think that we'll see in a lot of these other character updates, there was no overcorrections here. Some of them are very minor, but they're just enough to edge those characters back into regular play. And
or
amass
tone some down.
Correct. Or to mass a ton of enthusiasm behind playing some of these characters again.
Mm-hmm. There are some changes that were like they added one line to one superpower, and it's like, all right, that's all it needed. That's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Cable got a little more than that.
Cable got a number of things. So first off, out of the gate, new card art for all of these, and that new style that we've seen with the new core box, which is very pretty. It's very fresh. It's very clean. I really like the aesthetic a lot. But
really good.
Cable, an additional stamina on his healthy side, and Plasma Rifle also gains a new ability, where if the target is within range 3, right?
Yeah.
Within range 3, he can re-roll up to 2 dice in the attack roll. This is complemented by the new X-Force affiliation ability, which is, still Wetworks, but each allied character may re-roll 1 die in their attack rolls once per turn, including skull results. If they do, and the enemy character is within range 3, the enemy character does not benefit from cover during the attack.
Screw you, Rocket.
Correct. Listen, you have cover. He's there. The cover is active. You don't benefit from it, though. Sorry. Oops. really cool new affiliation ability. I roll a lot of skulls. This makes me very happy. Also, Ascani-san also benefits from having a power cost reduction of 1 as well. I think that's it for him.
Pretty sure that's it, yeah.
But a little bit more stamina, a rework to the X-Force affiliation ability, which was really needed. I'm very glad that happened. And solid overall. I'm very excited to start running X-Force again. And I never really stop. There's just so much new stuff I want to play all the time.
I just can't believe that they targeted the first reveals directly to you.
They really did. Well, and
Tim.
they sandwiched it a little bit. They gave me one that I really wanted. Then, alphabetically, they went right on to one that Dan really wanted.
Oh, everybody, dude.
Yeah,
And-
I'm really hoping for this.
I think very specifically, Tatted Colossus might be very excited about this particular one as well.
Yep.
And the Colossus rework. So X-Slam gains +1 range. It is a range
That's huge.
3
Massive change.
Huge.
spender
they
now.
said they pulled the range of it from 2 to 3 is doubling.
Yep.
Now you
Also,
can go from 6 inches away.
not only that, here's I think probably the biggest buff to him is he now moves medium.
Medium move is huge. The last time I played him, I was like, I just want him to move a little bit further,
Yeah.
and now he does.
And Dan, there was an additional benefit to organic steel as well, if I recall.
Yes. Oh, so you know how he's on the Indomitable card?
Mm-hmm.
He's
Well,
just
guess
straight up
what?
Indomitable all the time. He is Indomitable. He cannot be pushed by enemy effects. That's attacks or superpowers.
Correct.
I really liked Colossus before these changes. I didn't say he was good. I liked Colossus before these changes. He's so good now.
Mhm.
Right?
He's so good.
Was
I
there
love it. I love it.
was there a change to Big Brother?
Yeah, I feel like there might have been.
I don't think so.
Tatted Colossus in chat says the taunt he has now. Oh, there was. All right. Well, what was the old one? Let's see. So old
He just
Colossus.
becomes the target?
It was 2 within 2 targeted by an attack. It's no
Enemy
longer a
character within 2 targets another allied character.
Oh, so when the enemy character is within 2, is it when an allied character is within 2 on his old one?
when an allied character within 2 is targeted with an attack.
Okay, so they changed it so he has to be close to the enemy character. That's interesting.
Gotcha.
That's very
that
cool.
was-
Okay, that is super cool. So like it's like a long range attack. Like if Colossus is right in front of Cable but far away from the person he's trying to bodyguard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Tattoo
so now it's-
Colossus says it's too dangerous to ignore now.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And I love that he becomes a target regardless of range and line of sight. So he could be behind a big building and be like, no, me.
All right.
That's super dope.
So, and X-Men got a lot of love in the beginning of the stream, too. It was alphabetical, but it was all X-Men and mutants.
Yeah.
So it seemed like at first people were like, well, we're already past D. I guess I can't get Daredevil or any of the characters I care about. And I was like, yo, that sucks. But listen, this is great for me. I love these characters.
These are my characters. I want. It's so good.
Especially this next one, and then I'll let you guys do a few, but Cyclops.
Mhm.
Cyclops got a real big glow up here.
Oh, yeah.
He's stellar now. I am over the moon. A blue X-Men moon, some might say, for this
He probably
rework.
got the most changes of all the characters.
Yeah.
So, and they aren't really, so it's actually very similar to Cable, right? They changed his builder, and they changed his affiliation ability. I
They
think.
changed his spender too.
A
Oh,
little
they
bit,
did
yeah.
change. Yeah, they changed the
Yeah.
keyword for suppression as well to match the new Winter Soldier. So on Optic Devastation, suppression now matches the new Core Box Winter Soldier, where suppression removes a power for each wild in the attack roll.
Instead of just one.
Correct. Now, did they change that on Colossus as well?
No.
Didn't he have? Oh, he still
That-
has
it's
concussive force.
concussive.
Yep. his
Because
is
that's
still
what
the
it
same.
was. It was that same exact rule on Optic Devastation before, so they changed it to the slightly better removing a damage for each wild.
Now,
Yep.
the big huge change for me outside of the affiliation ability is the Optic Blast.
Oh yeah.
Stays the
That's
same,
so good.
same strength, same range, but benefits from an incredible new ability called Speed of Sight. It is a wild and hit trigger, and after the attack is resolved, this character may make an additional Optic Blast attack. This additional attack may not target the original character and does not have the Speed of Sight special rule. He has a laser cleave, being able to shoot somebody else as long as it's not the same person and at range 4. It's so good.
It's
so
really good.
It's so
You
good.
need a wild and a hit is not difficult with 5 dice.
It's really
so
not.
good.
It's really not. It's I am.
Don't mean to say throw him directly into MODOK Criminal Syndicate, but throw him directly into MODOK Criminal Syndicate.
Oh, I didn't think of. Or doesn't New Camp have that too? Earth's Mightiest Camp.
Similar.
might.
He
Isn't
just spends a
leadership
power
very
to
similar?
turn. Yeah, he spends a power. So MODOK doesn't. His doesn't cost any power. He can just, if he rolls a wild, he can change the results of another die to a hit. New Cap, First Avenger Cap, you spend a
Oh,
power,
wow.
change the result of a die to whatever you want.
Oh, that's it. Yeah,
As long as you have a
Yeah.
hit in your attack, but yeah, that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
that's incredible.
So the new X-Men Blue affiliation ability as well got a massive glow up where when it, for real, and it kind of works. Taylor had mentioned this earlier. It may have been before we were recording, but that it kind of works like the inverse of the A-Force, where when an allied character deals damage to an enemy character with an attack, another allied character within range 5 of the attacking character may gain 1 power after the attack is resolved. A character may only gain 1 power as a result of this leadership ability once per turn. Still, don't matter. I can Optic Blast 4 times rather easily and get a move with Hit and Run in the same turn and give 4 of my friends power.
Incredible.
X-Paxis.
Holy
Wow.
moly, dude.
Whoa, incredible! Thank you, X-Paxis.
AMG Andrea. Atomic Mass Games. I am Terrence.
Wow.
Good night.
Thank you, X-Paxis. We really appreciate that. And all of you that are out there either listening to the podcast version or watching this live or on YouTube, please make sure to leave a like, a follow, a 5-star review, or a 5-star rating on Spotify, a comment if you're watching it in YouTube. All of this stuff helps us a lot. And now, especially Atomic Mass Games and AMG Andrea, Iron Tans and D-Walk, Ezra Denny, all of you getting free subs to the Professional Casual Network channel from Buffalo Spin Shot Dad Paxis. Thank you so much.
Hit that Discord link. You get access to the paid version now.
Oh, you sure do. It gets real weird with JB.
It sure does.
But I believe that is all of the changes for Cyclops. Quick Draw looks the same. Hit and Run works the same. Field Leader also looks the same. And that's fine. Field Leader was very good to begin with. And Fletch also with 10 gift subs. Gosh.
Tattoo Class is going.
Thanks, man.
Sluggo Nose back on the gift train. Fletch, it's been we haven't seen you in a hot minute, dude. Good to see you.
Thank
First
so
off,
much. Wow.
and what a day, like, for real, of just overwhelming positivity, mostly from AMG directly into our brain holes. But
Right.
but you guys too. Thank you so much.
Yeah, honestly.
But yeah, I am over the moon for this. I cannot wait to start running X-Men Blue. I can't wait to be running X-Force again. These changes just like literally made the cockles of my heart like so insanely happy. I am overwhelmed with positivity over these changes.
I think
It's a brand new day.
a huge thing for this too. I was so excited watching this. I was at work. I had open house at school, and I was trying to see how much I could get before people came in, and then they were kind of teasing it in the beginning, and it was like, are they giving us a bunch of card reworks again? What? Like, it was not expecting it, and it was just banger after banger here. Speaking of, we had Deadpool next.
Tatted
Again, I was
Colossus with
not
5 subs too.
expecting.
Yo.
Dude,
So much.
thank you so much. Guys, we really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, honestly.
The stage is getting better.
Golly.
I was not expecting Deadpool to get a rework at all. And again, not a ton difference. They wanted to focus him more on his fighting up close and not just being a ranged character. So they did tone down bang a little bit. There's no more bang, bang, bang.
They
There's
described
just
it perfectly
one.
too. Pagani said +1 stab, -1 bang. Done.
Right, so he
Oh,
can
man.
make another stab attack with 2 wilds. He can stab, stab. I love that just play on his card. That was the only change, right?
For Deadpool,
And then legendary, right?
Bang.
Oh yeah, he got a whole new superpower.
Bang
Can't spell
also.
legendary without leg day.
Oh yeah,
Bang.
Bang's a gainer.
Yeah,
too.
Bang's a gainer now.
Specifically,
yeah,
Will Schick
yeah.
said that Bang was a gainer.
But yeah, you can't spell legendary without leg day. He's got his own hop 2 power placed within 2. Awesome, fantastic.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Absolutely awesome.
Yep. Well, and that was kind of the thing, right? Was you wanted to use Bang and Bang Bang and Bang Bang Bang, but you never had the power to do any of his other cool stuff. Very specifically, Merc with a mouth, right? It was expensive, but you wanted to use it. It's so thematic for the character, but you had to get up to places, and then when you did, you were using his guns, which didn't generate power, to be able to use his cool stuff, and now he can. And as part of his X-Force, he's getting his I Know Karate. He's getting the new X-Force reroll as well. It's good. It's real good.
And if you throw him in a MODOK criminal syndicate, that Bang Bang always goes off.
You just gotta roll that wild.
But yeah, just absolutely stellar. Once again, and this is why it started out so positively for me. Cause I was like, but these are okay. Who else? I don't know how many favorite characters I have left that need updates.
Right?
Speaking of characters that need updates, Gene.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, Sonic Bolt gains a Skull Pierce, which is freaking awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Dope.
That needed a pierce forever.
Mm-hmm.
And then telekinetic forces -1 power cost, I believe. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it goes
Sounds
from
right.
6 to 5, which is fantastic. And then latent psychic potential now says +2 power in the power +2.
So she got an additional power that she was already getting an additional power for in the power phase. And I think as they were explaining kind of how Jean should work, she's still very glass cannon. She's still somewhat easy to kind of put down and doesn't have a whole ton of like actual defensive tech, but she is an overwhelming force.
Yeah, but now she's also a cannon. She's not just glass.
Correct. Yes. Well, and that pierce that helps a lot, right? With the damage throughput. We know that Cerebro card is going to be coming out now, which if you play on Jean is going to make that a range 5, 6 strength builder with sap and pierce.
Yeah.
Oof, that sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But X-Men's certainly in a very, very good spot. I had to press backwards to have the Shatterpoint slideshow go through, so I keep going back in this one when I should be going forward. But listen, guess who's up next? It's... Yeah.
I like what they did here to really kind of balance the whole X-Men within each other, where we see Cyclops as an improvement. We see Storm getting a little bit of a debuff because she was just taken over Cyclops unanimously as a leader. So the X-Men Gold got changed a little bit to do the good old Storm Hop, now costs a power by the active character.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of just giving them cover if they're not within 2, they get to re-roll a defense die, which I think is still great.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Hurricane also gets +1 strength, so it's up to 6 now.
Oh, nice. I missed that.
Yeah, and then Eye of the Storm had reduced a power cost, which is super, super dope for her.
It's actually insanely efficient. It's one of the few attack steroids where you get attack dice equal to the power spent. It's actually very good. Very good.
It's really great. That cover, just having cover all the time, I'm so glad that's gone. I gotta be honest.
You know what? No, this is a direct attack at the X-Force. This is a direct attack because they can ignore cover now, and now they don't have cover. They get to re-roll it anyway. Storm and the X-Men Gold still get to benefit against the X-Force. It's malarkey, and I expect it to be corrected.
That's really funny. Oh, man.
I hate how right you are.
The last X-Men one I'm really excited about. I put the shirt on for him. Wolverine has got a little tune-up. Couple things. His Berserker Barrage now has a place to kind of match him a little bit more with
Mhm.
the Logan. I think, and then best at what I do, they reduced the cost of down to 2.
And it's
Was
just
his
another
special
attack.
charge.
It's not just Adamantium Slash.
Right, he can Berserker Barrage after that, which gives him a huge threat range.
Yup.
Super exciting. And then to add insult to Wolverine's opponents, when he flips, he has 6 health on his injured side now instead of 5. So
Mhm.
he's going to stay up a little bit longer. Really, really excited for these changes.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
very specifically, Wolverine was already kind of a threat. Just looking at Obi
Certainly
Watts
could
in
be, yeah.
chat, Cable still bottom 10, confirmed by Tim. Listen.
Whatever you need to push the narrative with.
Right. Listen, he's still in my top 10 in my heart and in my bottom. But Wolverine's still an absolute terror when he gets to his flip side with that wild rage, right? So especially now that the best at what I do is cheaper, and you can count wilds in a Berserker Barrage, which also has a place at range 3, and you're getting an additional attack die for each damage he has. You're talking about adding on an additional potential die for Wild Rage because his stamina is higher, adding on potentially 5 into a best there is at what I do Berserker Barrage, which is now upwards of 12 strength, counting wilds at doubles, and getting a size 3 or less throw afterwards. I hesitate on whether
that.
I
That's
actually put down
horrifying.
Wolverine or not.
Right? Was
So-
he immune to stagger on his injured side before? Is that new?
I
Or
don't.
has it just been a while since I've used him? I feel like that's new,
He
but I'm
was.
not sure.
He was. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
cool.
Tattooed Colossus brings out something really neat. He's got a power 1 charge under core 1 cap.
Right? Yeah. If he's an Avengers, which he is an Avenger, his best
Yeah.
what I do costs 1.
Yeah, fastball special also bunkers. Yep.
He is a defender as well, and as we'll find
Sure
out in a
is.
little while, there's a new leader for them as well. Shout out to Dr.
What?
D, who has to be pretty excited about that. But stopping back at the
Oh.
top of the order, as far as the alphabetical nature of things, we're done with mutants, so that must mean we have to go to someone that's been mutated by a
May I?
radioactive spider. You may,
May I?
sir.
I know Taylor's really excited for this
I
one.
am
Your
so
long
excited for
movers
this.
Got a couple buffs here throughout these.
One of my favorite attacks in the entire game, whatever a spider can, now only costs 4 power, which is insane to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because it used to cost 5, which was just way too expensive. But he also gains Doc Ock's ability where he rolls a critical, he gains a power.
Yeah.
That's all
That's
Parker
really
needed
good.
was more power gain. I'm just so there, people. I'm
Yeah.
so there.
Mm-hmm.
You get little changes.
Add up
make-
to so much.
Add up to big changes in a
The-
way that can really change how that character works.
And the greatest thing, I get to re-roll. So witty banter, right? Which is super fun. Where is an enemy character within 3 of this character is attacking an allied character. This character may use a superpower during the modify opponent's dice. You may re-roll 1 die in the attack roll. That means if you roll a crit using witty banter, you gain a power.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
When
What?
this character
Yeah.
rolls dice.
Correct.
Yeah, it says you may reroll, not they reroll. I think
Isn't that fantastic?
Wow. I don't hate that at all.
he powers
Oh.
himself up with his own jokes.
It's
He's
so great.
Tim.
So that's the thing. I was like, yo, I'm going to roll their, hit into a crit, which they need for a trigger, and it's going to hurt me worse. But hey, I'm getting my power back. It's all about that refund, baby.
Even when I lose, I win, you know?
He's not Hondo.
A little bit.
A
But,
little bit.
but
I
yeah.
wish Alyssa was here for this one.
So,
everybody's favorite.
she
Dog
was-
Poltagon.
She was silent in chat when this happened, and I was frantically taking screenshots of things and like working on blogs and stuff at the time. So I went back and I just tagged her, and I was all exclamation points, and she responded with, "I'm crying right now." Like, when the
Your
man,
favorite character gets a buff, that makes that's
there she is right in the chat, beautiful. Good to see you, Alyssa. But yeah, the Boltagon himself, Mr. Blackagar, getting a number of quality of life improvements. As
Exactly.
Pagani said, it's
Stupid
just
change-up.
numbers. It's just numbers, so it's boring, but
It's just boring numbers.
But +1 Mystic Defense, +1 Health on his healthy side, and Energy Bolt has +1 Strength to a +6 attack. Master Punch has a reduction of cost, costing 1 less power, and now Focus Power is an innate that grants him +1 power per turn, and he has a new reactive power as a servant to his people, always willing to sacrifice himself and his body and his strength for the Inhumans as a whole. He has a King serves his people. It is a 1 power bodyguard at range 2.
That's what I'm most terrified of, right there, because nobody wants to daze Black Bolt.
Correct.
Right?
Nobody.
Just keep him healthy. It's okay. We'll work around it.
Because you throw him in the middle of the field and everybody's like, I'm just going to ignore him. What's he going to do? Hit me with 6 dice energy? You know, like whatever. And then he's like, no, you have to deal with me now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm terrified of this mini.
Yeah, he's a real big boy now.
He's a real big boy.
He's Blackagar Bullygon, for sure.
And did Whisper go up an extra die too? Or
I'm
has it
checking
always
that.
been
I
dead?
believe it did. I'm checking.
I don't...
It did. Yeah, it was
it
strength
did?
9. Now it's strength 10.
Whew. Having
Yep.
that extra power from Focus Power 2 is really stellar. It's going to make Master Punch very useful for him early on in getting into position. It's range 3. It has a place. It has a throw on it too. Like, he's going to be a force out of the gate instead of as long as I don't daze him, it'll be fine. Now he's going to be bodyguarding. He's going to be forcing that damage to go into him. It's really cheap too. A 1 power bodyguard is real good.
I'm so scared. I'm so scared, man.
Listen,
Scared of Alyssa now.
It's a new day on the other side of the moon for the Inhumans because, yep.
But Alyssa says he flips and yells at you harder.
Yeah, having a 3 Mystic Defense is incredible.
Yeah.
I forgot
It is
he had
incredible.
2. That's crazy.
And Medusa, I'm already terrified of because she's really good.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh man, nope.
Hey,
I'm
Taylor.
scared of this, man. Yeah.
How about another change to your long movers list?
I'm okay with this change.
Kind of needed, right?
Okay. Yep. So Black Cat, we'll start with the good thing. Black Cat Claws now auto bleed, which makes sense, right? But they had to snip the claws a little bit. Master Cat Burglar is now an action, and I am
Right. I should have been from the
A-okay
beginning, so
with
that's
this.
great.
Exactly. And Bad Luck updated with modern wording includes the attacking characters do not add dice for rolling crits when attacking her. But no, Master Cat Burglar needed to be in action from the get-go. I'm okay with this, even though it hurts me immensely because I put her in every single list because she's so damn good.
Right?
Oh,
It just brings her in line with other people with that same ability, like Enchantress.
Yep.
absolutely. Yep.
Nope, I think that was needed, right? This prevents some of those really feel bad moments, but still makes that same tactic. It's still there. You can still do it. Just listen, you cost a little bit more now.
Well, they looked at Black Cat. They were like, "Hey, no, this is a robbery." They changed it to an action. And everybody in chat too was super happy with it. They were like, "Yep, that makes sense."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
you know what else makes sense?
what's that?
Is Blade getting some buffs because he really needed them.
Well, and not just hard buffs too, but buffs very specifically where he lacked. And I played a bunch of Midnight Suns when they first came out, and I'm really glad they touched on this in the stream, where one of the things that was holding Blade back was he would kind of get like left behind a little bit. Yeah.
Yep.
He was doing his thing, and the big really cool thing about him was that vampiric immortality, right? But you got to be up there next to people that are bleeding. And after that first round, you're throwing some glaives, and then it's like, well, now I got to spend an action. I got to spend a round just getting back into the fight. And they have been very precise here in giving him what he needed, which is a pursuit trigger on a hit result on his throwing glaives. And that's it. That's all he needed.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah,
Because now he works perfect
It's great.
in MODOK's leadership.
So, and really, once again, everything is coming up, Tim. If everything is going to just work a little bit nicer in Scientist Supreme MODOK Criminal Syndicate, listen, I'm here for it. But
I don't even want to talk about this next one because I'm so excited about it. I can't even. I'll stammer every. I'm just.
I've been hearing Dr. D yell about it for the last few hours,
Oh.
so I'll cover Daredevil here a little bit. Our good friend Matt Murdock saw some significant changes, mostly that he's a leader now for Defenders, which is huge.
Huge.
So he's the Marvel Knights, which is a perfect name for that ability. Once per turn, an allied character may reroll a number of attack dice equal to the number of enemy characters within 2 of itself. Really cool.
He's the Boosh of Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Yeah, fantastic.
+1 physical defense too was super overdue. This was a 4-threat character that I always thought had 4 physical defense.
Yeah, and kind of assumed that he did, and was like, "Oh wait, he doesn't."
Maybe, and obviously we were just ahead of the game, right? But Baton Hook also getting ignoring line of sight and stealth.
Which is really cool.
Yeah,
which makes sense.
I saw that too.
Murdock.
I think the internet went out for a quick second there.
It made sense for Matt Murdock, to just ignore. I don't need line of sight or stealth. Come on,
I don't need it.
Yeah, I don't need.
Were those only changes? I mean, leadership was huge.
Man Without Fear also got a change. Instead of just being able to make the attack back, he can now also move short towards the attacker to get that counter attack in, which is also very, very big. Especially against his nemesis, right? Him and Bullseye. Bullseye could just skirt around throwing clothespins as much as he wanted, but now now Daredevil is going to be slowly moving up there to get that punch right back.
It's so funny because Daredevil, as a long mover, actually did need more movement. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In a weird way, yeah.
And another small change, the pull trigger on Baton Hook is changed to a hit instead of a wild. So that's going to happen more often.
Yep. And Dan may have gone over this, but the change to Devil's Deliverance, getting a buff of 4 strength by default, but now only adding 1 additional die per character, per non-daze enemy within range 2 instead of 2. Great change there. Devil's Deliverance was game-changing for me when I was running the Power Bottom 10, and surprisingly enough, a lot of characters that are getting card updates were in that particular list. But yeah, I think that's also a very good change. Makes it significantly more consistent where you don't have to really go out of your way to set it up. It's still just a good spender.
Yeah. I'm throwing him straight in my long mover lists.
Oh, yeah.
Straight in there. Absolutely.
All right, next up, we have...
Happy with this one.
Something I think, everyone kind of probably assumed was going to be coming at some point, and that is actually a very slight change to Dr. Voodoo. And the way they talked about this on stream too was Voodoo's still going to do the thing that Voodoo does. It's just a little bit rounded, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
it's not as game breaking.
Correct. Yep. It's not. Yeah, it's game deciding too, especially in
that's
play.
What I meant. Yeah.
But he no longer has the superpower throw because really he already had everything. Losing that certainly isn't the biggest deal in the world. But they did add it to the Spirit Venom attack. So this is actually pretty neat. So this is a range. So Spirit Venom was his builder, and taking away the superpower and adding it into his builder on a double hit trigger. So Spirit Venom, range 3, strength 5, Mystic. If you roll that double hit after the attack is resolved, the target character, if they're size 2 or less, is thrown short. That is a throw trigger on hits on a builder. That's still insanely good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Still real good.
Especially under MODOK's leadership in Crime Syndicate.
Oh my God.
Where if you roll a wild, you can get that other hit that you were missing.
I didn't want to say it again, but I'm so glad you did.
One thing that is nice about that, it's still a good throw, but he used to have terrain or character.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? So he can't throw terrain anymore, which it makes perfect sense. And there's the Brother Daniel token. It used to be if he had that, he could throw size 3 character or terrain. So I think that's gone completely. Size 3 has to be size 2 or less.
Yeah, and no terrain throw at all
For him to double check. He can't throw size 3 characters anymore, so that's nice.
Could he before? I thought it was just terrain features went up to size 3 with the Brother Daniel token.
I'm unsure.
I'm double checking it now. Let's see. Yeah, if you had the Brother Daniel token, it was only terrain size 3 or less within 2. But so he just lost throwing terrain at all, which I think is fine. I always thought it was weird that he could throw terrain anyway.
The big thing about the Brother Daniel token too, and this is one that's certainly been talked about in the community for a long time, is kind of a gripe, is that when you dazed him, the Brother Daniel token didn't go back to him. So even if you took him out, if you were stuck with that, you couldn't do anything about it. And now you can. Now there is a counterplay to that, and it is putting Dr. Voodoo down, because now when he dazes, he does reclaim the Brother Daniel token. In addition to that,
makes sense.
Recall Spirit has a power costs. It was free before, but now to bring that back, it's going to cost you a little bit. Possession also changing to only dropping objectives. You can still contest secures if you are possessed. You just drop any objective that you might be holding. So,
and you can't pick any more up while you have the token.
Correct. So it's
that seems pretty okay.
Mm-hmm. He's still what does Dr. Voodoo do? He possesses you and prevents you from scoring some victory points. He still does that. That's still the kit. That's still why you bring them, and that's still what you do when you have them. It's just, once again, it is dulled a little bit to bring it to not be so overwhelming. And that's one thing they hit on. Yes, correct.
You know?
And that's something they hit on very heavily, right, is when they're balancing characters, and whether it's the character abilities or the individual abilities and Shatterpoint or some of the affiliation abilities here, you want to feel cool and that you're doing cool stuff without your opponent feeling like it's oppressive and that it's preventing them from playing the game. And I think they've done a very good job with Dr. Voodoo, and I think that was going to be a hard one to get right. And I think they've done a very good job with it.
Yeah.
Nail on the head, for sure. One thing that I do want to say is they did say the reason they got rid of that throw is because, they said in like playtesting, they were like, if you go last with Voodoo, you win the game.
Yep.
Right? Somebody no longer contests. So, Voodoo just comes in, he throws somebody off a point, possesses somebody else, and then you won.
And we've seen that at events.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. Multiple times.
Electra is the next one on the list. This is another one. Huge shout out to Dr. D, who wanted to see some benefits here, and in his own words, electric nachos finally getting her time in the sun. And I actually think they did a very good job here. As they said on stream, what do we want to see? And that's Electra impaling people. I think they were corrected in saying, well, not everyone wants to, and then another person said, well, Bullseye does. It was a great interaction.
Anne was like, I've lost control.
If you haven't, please, all of the Ministravaganza Twitch streams are going to be on their YouTube. I would highly suggest checking them out. The chemistry that the people at that company have with each other is very good, and it's something I really like to see. But
it's really fun.
Electra also a character and a miniature in this game that I actually really enjoyed playing a lot as well. Especially, I think I was running her in Shadowlands Daredevil Crime Syndicate for a while.
Yeah, you were.
But she gets a +1 physical defense in addition to her ancient throwing blades now being a gainer.
Thank goodness.
Which is... it's just so nice. Being able to actually get off the impale, to have the power for assassin step and martial prowess is very good. Now, if you're doing damage with that ancient throwing blade, you're getting 2 power, which is enough to fuel that assassin step right away. It's enough to have enough for martial prowess. It's very good. She didn't need a ton. She just needed a slight adjustment, and being a little bit tankier, especially as a 4 threat with only 11 health. And an additional way to gain power is it. That's all that was needed.
I noticed that she did lose bleed on the throwing blades as well.
Oh, she did? Did she have bleed on it before?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, wild bleed. Bleed and pierce. Just pierce. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're mystic blades. Who knows?
Listen, I'm all about the pierce, honestly. And mystic range 3 it's still really good. I like it a lot.
I'd rather have the pierce, to be honest. Yep. It's because then you solidify that that Alpha Blood, right?
Another character that was in that Power Bottom 10 getting a glow up here with Hella. Ella.
Oh, yeah.
A.
I'm really
Um,
excited for this because Hella is like Danny's favorite character in MCP, so to see her get a little buff is nice.
Well, go for it, sir.
All right. So first up, I believe it's her Hellforge Blade.
Mm-hmm.
Got a buff to its range from range 2 to 3,
Yes.
which is a big deal,
We love range 3 builders. We love them.
right?
So good.
Her Claim Soul attack got a power reduction in cost from 2 to only 1, so she can get those soul tokens a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
She got a whole new power, a whole new active superpower, Death's Embrace. For 2 power, choose an enemy character within 3. Advance this character towards the chosen character short. Then, if this character is within 1 of the chosen character, roll 4 dice for each crit, wild, or just crit and wild. In the result, the chosen character suffers damage. For each damage suffered this way, this character may remove 1 damage. You can only do this once a turn.
That is
so she has-
awesome.
Right, it's similar to Rogue Mutant Absorption. She has another way to do damage on her turn, and she can heal herself, which is really important because she is pretty squishy when she flips. Love it, love it, love it. She seems just better.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed she's still only 4 stamina on her flipped side, but I get that's because she has the Queen of Hell, where if she has 3 soul tokens, she just doesn't die and goes back to full health on her injured side.
Just so awesome.
Well, and the one thing that I really liked about using her very specifically was I could sit her at a point and treat her as a turret with Claim Soul. With Claim Soul and how it worked and being able to daze people, I could sit her on a point, and then from range 4 away, I could spend 2 power, use Claim Soul, potentially daze someone, and use 2 Claim Soul tokens, or 2 captured soul tokens to make that an 8 strength, range 4 mystic attack, zot somebody, potentially get 2 back, because I'd be getting 1 from the Claim Soul and another one from dazing or KOing a character, always being at 3 and just doing that twice a turn. Now it's even cheaper.
Yeah. I also missed that her big spender, Reign of Hell, also went down in a power cost. It was 4, now it's 3.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice.
And one tiny other thing, Army of Hell can now only be used on Hellforge Blade and Reign of Hell. It can't be used on Claim Soul.
Oh, that makes sense.
It
Yeah,
makes sense. Yeah.
well, that
makes
thing
complete
that
sense.
thing I was talking about, how I used to abuse that one particular ability. Well, it's no longer abusable. It's still very good though. It's still very good.
It's nice. Again, it's breathing life into older characters. She's been around for since the first couple months of the game, so it's nice to see. I'm sure she'll see a lot more table time.
Death's Embrace is really good.
Yeah, really good.
I mean,
She does lose it when she flips because she gets Queen of Hell instead.
but
But it's still real good.
I mean, comparing that to Mutant Absorption, it's Mutant Absorption with a charge,
Yeah.
and it does damage instead of removing power and heals her instead of it's
it's nice.
That's good.
It's really good.
That's
we know
good.
Asgard is getting a whole new wave, right? With new Thor, Loki, Sif, and Jane Foster Thor. Like, we're gonna see a lot more Asgard in the very near future.
That Jane Foster Thor mini is dope.
Yeah, I mean they're all
so
great,
dope.
but
The new Loki is incredible.
Perfect.
So imposing, and the
Classic
Sif
Loki.
might be the best one of the
The Sif is really good. too.
tactically
the
just
Sif is
really
like
good.
understated. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Absolutely.
overdone.
And
You know what was overdone?
And I like how they kind of owned up to it on this stream, where they're like, some characters we did tone back, and Pagani was like Malekith.
And much like Voodoo, goodbye. I don't miss you.
But you're still gonna see him. It's not like he got terrible by any means.
Goodbye. I don't miss you. Malekith got another rework because he needed it. -1 stamina on both sides. The Blade of
Nice.
Midnight loses Pierce. Thank goodness.
Nice.
And Ferocity can now only throw character size 3 or less, which I don't really use size 4 or up characters, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
He isn't worth 7th threat anymore.
I think it was Ben, or maybe it was Pagani talking on that particular stream about how Malekith was exceeding the speed limit of Dazes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought that was a really funny way to put it, but yeah, I think that's really ideal, right? He lost the ability to not be able to reroll against him. That was huge. -1 stamina on both sides also kind of makes him a little bit more obtainable. He's still oppressive. He still has the ferocity. He lost a Pierce. He's still gonna 7 strength builder you, and then throw you afterwards.
Still no joke.
And what a shame he can't do it to Hulk anymore. Like, but no, I think that's, once again, it's not overwhelming. It's not oppressive. I still think he's a 7. Yeah, I think that's a good fix.
He's still real good, just not like overpowering good.
He's no CGR, but
Giddy up CGR. Giddy up CGR. So
For a second.
another entry from the Power Bottom 10 here, and a character that I really learned to love was...
I was just going to say another one just for you.
Ronan the Accuser. I loved this character. I thought he was great. Now, just so you know, if you did download, and Taylor brought this to my attention, and thank you for that, because I didn't quite understand it at first until I went back and actually read what he said. But, or comprehended was the word I was looking for there. But if you did download the new character pack, it has been updated. Kree Justice for a hot hour. It was a dope hour for Ronan. His spender did cost 0. It is now back to 4. But the changes here were also very subtle. Just 1 stamina on his healthy and injured sides. And once again, I think that's all he needed. The Accuser is great. It's a great ability. Being able to Kree Justice back when you get dazed is awesome. He has a lot of automatic status conditions as well in his spender. If damage is done, it stuns and staggers. Universal weapon, if it deals damage, automatically shocks. Also has a great threat range. Solid character all around, and just that little tweak to his health, I think, makes him that big blocky tanky guy. He doesn't have movement abilities, you know what I mean, outside of the Accuser when he gets downed. But
all it was only change is they upped his stamina.
That's it.
No, okay, nice. Yeah, I totally agree. I think the rest of his stuff was fine. He's just a little too squishy for a 4 threat.
Now, if you were thinking at home, wow, this seems like a lot of things just for Tim. Well, guess what? It's not over. Taskmaster got an update too, and my all shield throw list is now even better. One of my complaints about having Taskmaster and that particular list was his shield throw was the only one that didn't get power. But as a man that can look at someone and figure out how they're doing it, it just took him a little time of watching the new cap until he learned that new technique. It's still only strength 4, but now he gains power for it, which helps him fuel those photographic reflexes as well as the mnemonic technique. I'm so happy with this. I am in the middle of doing a video right now for the old shield throw and shielding list with no actual shield members in it. Without the shield affiliation in it, because Taskmaster is a member of shield. But yeah, I was very, very happy with this.
I gotta be honest.
Is that his only change?
That's it. Yep. I gotta be honest. Taskmaster is probably one of the first minis that I ever bought. I really love his miniature a lot, and his lore is fantastic. So adding this little tiny bit really helps.
Well, and it's so fitting too. Tisdale was on a couple weeks ago, and I was talking about how much I love the interactions between mercenaries in this game.
Yeah.
We got Silver Sable announced earlier this week as well. So my mercenary ride is far from over, so I'm very, very excited for the future. All right,
the big man,
go for it.
The big man. Hey, guess what? You can only cosmic portal once a turn. Sorry, Guardians.
Nerd. Thank goodness.
That was very needed.
Yes,
it was very, very needed.
Again, the only change. They just added the superpower can only be used once per turn. Done. That's for a 6th threat. The rest of it is pretty well in line. The fact that he could teleport things like, 3, 4, 5 times a turn if he had enough power, especially if he had the soul space gem or mind gem, was just too
Yeah.
much sometimes.
Well, and once
We
again,
got-
that's all it needed, right? He,
Yep.
as they said, exceeded the speed limit of disruptions or of
Yes.
displacements, and now he
And
does it.
so we just got word in chat from Obi Watts and Tattooed Colossus that as of next Friday, all of the Infinity Gems will be removed from the restricted list. So
Interesting.
that's kind of massive.
Yeah.
It's kind of absolutely huge.
So, and I think for a lot of people, that might be a wash on Thanos.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just a change, not necessarily a nerf. But
Yep.
Real excited for the next one here.
Oh, how
Good
could you
old
not be?
Thor.
actually, hold on. We have a special guest to come on to do this one. Mitch.
Yeah, right.
There's not enough terrain in this video for him.
Not a ton of changes to Thor, but welcome ones. His Mystic Defense went up to 4 to match other Asgardians, or below his level. And God of Thunder finally got a huge reduction from 6 power to 4.
Thank goodness. But guess what? There's more. He gets an extra stamina on his healthy side. Thank goodness, because he drops so quickly.
Yeah, he
And
does have 7 now.
And the old auto shock.
Auto shock, and he's immune to shock too.
Oh yeah.
And stun.
He didn't have any immunities before.
Yeah, he got real good, real quick.
The thing I'm so excited about is it's going to be a Wild West again, where people are going to be picking up characters and affiliations that they haven't touched in a while, that they've always been in love with, and can finally feel good fielding them again. What a great time. What a brand new great game. I am so excited for the next year of MCP.
I can't wait to play again.
Right. It's fresh. It's all
Not that like I stopped playing, I just haven't been able to in a little while, so I can't wait to get minis on the table for this.
Yeah.
And then I think it's just one last one. Oh no, there's
2.
Oh, there's
two left. All right, and this a lot of information out there, right, about people being like, well, new Winter Soldier doesn't hold the torch to the old one. Well, maybe he might now. So, not insane changes here, right? Just bringing him in line into the world of realism, right? So the assault rifle now triggers on a wild like it probably always should have. That was one of the most exciting things about his initial change, was that it's like, oh, on a hit, that's always going to happen. That's just always going to be the case. And they said that they very specifically is that when you have a range 5 attack, it's sometimes very difficult to really kind of gauge what that impact is going to have, because that range is so huge. When you can target half the board at any time, you know, it can be a little bit difficult. And to just kind of guarantee 2 attacks on assault rifle, and with Red Fury and how that worked previously, 3 attacks off of a single attack is a lot.
Yeah.
Changing
and
it.
we saw Bucky in virtually every list at every event. Like he was taken ubiquitously.
Yep.
How could you not?
I love that word.
And very specifically, a kind of a rewording of Red Fury to make sure that that's not always automatic. Listen, Bucky's dope. He does have a robot arm, but he's not pushing around some of the biggest things in the Marvel Universe and kick flipping off them, pushing them away and shooting them again. So bringing Red Fury back in line, still it's size 3 or less. Yep. But after the attack is resolved...
the vast majority of characters.
Correct. So you can only push size 3 or less, and he has to push them to get the assault rifle, is the way I'm reading this, right? If the target is pushed away from this character short, then immediately... Oh, gotcha. No. Okay.
I mean, yeah. Nope. No, he still gets that assault rifle attack. It's just bringing it down from 4 to 3, which again, Bucky should not be able to push Hulk.
Actually, I don't think it does. I think after this attack is resolved, if the target character is size 3 or less, the target character is pushed away. Then, if you don't push, you don't shoot.
That's not true. And I'm going to look it up and make sure. Yep, same wording.
If the character is pushed, then you can make an assault rifle attack, right?
Same wording, it just now has a size restriction.
Well,
we
isn't
have
that,
seen some other triggers like that on
but isn't that
other
the way it worked
wordings
before,
that
though? Like, if you didn't push the size 4.
Oh, maybe.
So I think the wording is
Obi-Wat's
the
is saying
same.
if you don't push, you don't shoot.
Yeah. Because it's
Gotcha. Okay.
then. Because thens don't happen if you don't do the first part.
When will then be now?
When will that be? What?
All right.
No, so the push happens automatically. It's not a may. You have to push them.
Right. But if you can't push them, then you don't do the then.
Oh, so somebody like Colossus.
Right. So a size 4. Effectively, once again, it's a very small change to it, but those
Gotcha.
size 4s that you used to get that attack on, you now don't get the attack on.
All right.
Last but not
Except-
least,
The man himself.
the Longimus himself, Wong. What did he
Wong.
get? More physical defense. Also, Servant of the Sorcerer Supreme now works with any Doctor Strange you want it to, baby.
Both of them.
That's right. While within range 3 of an allied, Stephen Vincent Strange, this character adds 1 die to his defense rolls.
Boom.
Oh! So yeah, so Tadaclossus, yeah, so characters that have immunities to pushes from attacks as well. You don't get the follow-up assault rifle on.
Yeah, like Colossus.
Because once again, you're going up and you're kick flipping off their chest. You expect it to give, but then you just fall on your back.
I just love how Ted and Colossus in chat says Colossus can't be pushed now. Ha ha.
No, I think
Imagine if it
Haha
was.
is Nightcrawler, isn't he? Isn't that one of his?
No, Nightcrawler says, ha-ha! Because the
Very
second
specific, yeah.
ha is all in caps. The
Yep,
first
you're
one.
correct.
Yep.
You're very correct.
Very well constructed on the card.
You
for
pulled
sure.
that second ha out of like a BAMF or something like that.
But that is all the character reworks for now, and by golly, I don't think there's so few things on there. I know, Taylor, you had mentioned that you would like to see something for Carnage. Tisdale was very upset that there wasn't a buff to Magneto, but
Oh my God.
listen, we can't all get what we want, but these were things that kind of were, I think, known and talked about across a lot of different shows, podcasts, or just like at conventions and in regular like humbumblery talk.
It's like
got the
AMG's listening or
big-
something.
It's so
Right?
weird. It's almost like they've always been doing that.
Huh, strange.
I got the big 4.
Vincent
I was hoping.
Strange.
Really big 3, and then one that was always kind of like, oh, that'd be really nice with Colossus, Cyclops, Wolverine, and then Jean.
Yeah. Yeah, mutants are actually good now.
Mhm.
Right? You know?
Right? People are so excited for Thor.
Yeah,
Well,
there were really only 2 things that I was miffed about, and one of them was Carnage. Carnage isn't horrible, but he's not great. You know what I mean? And then Hulk, I think, could use a small tone down. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alyssa got what she wants. Nothing else matters. Go home.
Well,
folks.
and very legitimately, like from what we see around, right? What were some of the least played factions? Asgardians, Inhumans,
Yeah.
and Defenders. And
Yeah.
they all got very exciting new toys to play with that are going to bring them back into the light a little bit. Especially with the
Black
new
Bolt's a
Asgard
god
wave.
now.
Yeah, Black Bolt is and inhumanly bully.
Yes. But yeah, you're right. With the new Asgard wave that's coming, what a perfect time to have Hela actually work and
Mhm.
an alternate Thor and an alternate Thor. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah, Mighty Thor, Sif, a new Loki that looks, once again, and I loved how they said it on stream. This is a beat you up and take your lunch money Loki. This is a I'm going to trick you out of your deed and then burn your house down anyway, Loki. They referred to the current Loki as a cheeky Loki. He's a trickster. He's fun. Oh, what a scamp. This new Loki, though, just breaks your windows with a brick and then tears down your house anyway.
I'm so ready.
Right?
I'm
That
so
Loki's
ready.
already pretty good too.
Yeah,
Well,
for
right.
real.
But yeah,
For
this
real.
was what a great day, right? Ministravaganza has really just gotten me so hyped for more MCP, has gotten me so hyped for the future of Shatterpoint. I hope the other game systems feel the same way. But what a dope event. And there's still another day left. We still get the game modes panel, which I am insanely excited for.
Mojo Ball.
I just want to know what it does. I want to know how to play. I want to play Mojo Ball right now. But
For real.
I want to play Mojo Ball right now.
and yeah, that new terrain pack, right? That has a headless statue just ripe for an alligator Loki head. And the only way I could have been happier is if Phantom X or Quentin Quire came out. And that's it. And those were such long shots. I would have put Mojo Ball at a significantly longer long shot than that. Even more than the character long shot. Right. But yeah.
Absolutely.
AMG's,
one more thing.
Yeah.
One more thing. Punisher's and Defenders now.
Yes.
Punisher's in an affiliation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What?
Defenders is like top tier now. I don't know if you know that.
Also on the site, there is a update to the erratas and FAQs that's actually dated for the 22nd next week. That includes a rewording of it's a time travel thing for Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Oh yeah, I had heard about that.
But yeah, dope day.
Don't worry about it.
Yep.
Guys, thank you for coming on this late. Thank you guys, everyone in chat, for being here. And also, huge, massive shout out to Tata Colossus, Fletchfet, and Xpaxis, and anyone that supports the channel, whether it's through Twitch subs or Bits Redemptions, your free Amazon Prime sub, which you probably have and just use, re-up it every month. It helps us a lot, as well as all the patrons over at patreon.com/professionalcasual, or if you're in the Discord. Remember, there's a whole ton of ways to help support the network and this show. 5-star reviews on whatever your listening platform is. If you're listening to the podcast version, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, what have you, leaving a comment, a like, and a subscribe on YouTube if you watch this not live, or right here on Twitch in so many different ways. But guys, we really appreciate it. Check out professionalcasual.com. I detailed day 1 of Ministravaganza in a blog. Feel free to leave a comment or a like on there. And there will be a couple follow-ups as well that I'm already working on. One for the Shatterpoint reveal today, as well as all of these card updates. There's going to be a lot coming to professionalcasual.com. And if you've checked out the YouTube recently as well, there's a number of videos that are starting to pop up there of battle reports, convention streams, and all the like. Finally edited it down and being good to go. But guys, thank you so much. We'll see you again on Monday for Taylor's Hobby Hangout right here at 6 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. We stream every weekday here at 3 p.m. on Mondays at 6 p.m. and then battle reports live on Tuesday nights. Wait, did I roll a wild on Thursday nights? And so much more dope stuff to come, guys.
Tomorrow.
What's that?
Is it Ben doing a thing?
Ben.
Oh,
tomorrow.
yes. At 2
o'clock.
2 p.m. Eastern. Ben from the Lost Omens podcast and a Grim podcast of Perilous Adventure here on the network is going to be streaming some of them vidya games. He took part in our 24-hour streamathon, taking the late night shift, and had a great time. And actually had a rather good turnout for it too. So he's going to be picking that up every once in a while on a weekend. So make sure to stop by tomorrow, say hi to him, and let him know that you appreciate him, because we really do.
I appreciate you.
But all right, guys, have a great night. We love you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.